Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
Sean Bell.
Hi.
And James Farley.
Hello.
We're going to get straight into the Patreon producers for this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap. He went full Nels. Simon Nelson, Tom S, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit. They all went full Nels. Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Palace are great now. That's Gabby Pereira, Graham Mackay, Rocketman76, Rex Reese. All of these are full Nels. Happy birthday, Sam, again. Love from Neil, aka Bitch in Sync, Grey Dragon Claw, Fred Fenge, and the Radio Anywhere and TLNA crew. Thank you so much for going full Nels and supporting the show. You too can support the show by going to patreon.com/TCGS. Pick a tier, sign up, and help support the show. And look, I'm going to say this because we do get messages about, we want to give you a little Christmas tip or whatever. If you've enjoyed what we've done over the past year, then please go to patreon.com/TCGS and sign up to one of those tiers because it's a little tip for us and you get a ton of content. So if you've never heard a bonus show before, you get to download all of the bonus shows. If you want to see the milk race a little bit early, then you can do that while also giving us a little tip for all the shows we've put out this year. We really do appreciate it. And thanks to everyone that already supports us on patreon.com.
Yeah, massively. And I will say December's talks over, or the one for the £8.50 and above tier is a new episode of In Cuisining. It's the Christmas.
Is that Christmas the first time we said that public?
I think we've said it a few times.
Really? Okay.
But it bears
I
repeating.
thought Matt had just stolen your big moment then.
That's right.
Is it though, Sean? Or are you seething? Are you seething?
Well, I mean, I haven't written it yet, so I can't really be too bolshy about it. Do you know what I mean?
I should also say that we are on Radio Anywhere. If you go to your app provider and search Radio Anywhere, you can download an app and listen to us on Radio Anywhere. But I'm a little bit angry. Have you noticed what's going on?
We've been bumped, yeah?
In what sense?
We've been moved around.
So, we had the big launch, right? There was the big launch week, and we were supposed to be on Monday 7 p.m. Big launch week, and Ian had stolen our slot, right? And then this week, he's going, 7 o'clock, TCGS. Oh, yeah, go on, tune in. So I tuned in, and it was the Kinks playing. And I went, well, what's going on? He went, I moved you. So we're just getting...
You know what's going to happen, don't you? We're going to end up, we're going to be at you're on at 3 a.m.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, at 3 a.m. you're on.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I think. I just think you just fire us then. Yeah. If that's what you're going for, if that's what you're building up to, just fire us. It just...
Are you sure
pushing
we
us back and back.
We could just take the show off the station.
That's true.
What?
We'd just take the show off the station.
Well, we don't want to do that.
No, let's go back. No, I got an email today from Dash Radio.
You're kidding. Have you really?
No,
we didn't.
No.
That was a joke. I thought is Dash Radio still going?
We should limit our show to 2 hours, and we should go somewhere where we're respected, where we can get a lovely old car parking space.
No, I think it's a compliment. I think if Ian's sticking something on that he knows that otherwise people aren't really going to listen to, he's going to say it's us that are going to be on, get the people in, and then, look, it's actually the Kinks. Do you know what I mean? It's just a little switcheroo. I think it's smart.
Yeah,
I am a bit anxious.
For the Kinks.
We could do with the boost.
It's true. The publicity the Kinks are getting from us is
unbelievable. Sorry. I know it's only early. Can we call this episode "Great for the Kinks," please?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm a little bit anxious about him playing all the old episodes because, I mean, how have they aged? Does anyone?
Do you know, Sean? I was listening just before we started recording.
Yeah,
and it was. You were talking about Trackmania. So things haven't changed.
So things have not changed at all then.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And to be fair, that went on to be Game of the Year that year. So,
oh god, yeah, so it did. That was Turbo, wasn't it? Fuck.
Speaking of which, it's just hit me, right? I've just worked this out. Well, this is a total mess. Our December's just been thrown into the fucking, I don't know what's going on now.
I mean, it's pretty busy anyway.
I'm not on next week's show. The show after that is the Gotti draft. Can you believe it's come around that quickly? I swear I was looking at the calendar not too long ago going, we got like 8 shows until the Gotti draft. I don't have to worry too much about it. And it's like, for me at least, it's my next show. It's fuck.
Are we talking about what's happened with the Gotti Draft show as well?
Well, you have a little bit of a problem. Yep. We were due to record that show on the 13th, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 13th. And I had a phone call today saying that my operation is on the 13th. So
we're doing it live from Theatre 1.
What I'm worried about is that not only... so we're moving that to record that a little bit earlier, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the Game of the Year show is on the Sunday after my operation. Is it the Saturday after my operation? So what sort of fucking... I'm going to be a wreck.
Be all right.
Well, will you be a wreck a week after?
I shouldn't have told you this because now you see my weakness. You know that I'm not going to be able to sit down and record that show for too long because I'll be in excruciating
you might be
pain.
on painkillers as well.
That's true. Yeah. We don't need Piss James. We've got Dave off his face on fucking morphine.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fine.
That's this year's one.
I agree with James.
Matt, you talk about Death's Door. You know what you're saying.
It's going to be about 3 hours in. Dave's going to be like, guys, why is everyone fighting? It's all good games.
Yeah, can you imagine that? If it's a standoff and it's like, okay, so it's to the side, we go into deadlock. Matt, actually, I'll go with your game. What? I'll go with your game, man. If you're that passionate about it, brother.
You know what? Lake was okay actually. Let's go.
I played it again.
I appreciated what they were trying to do. It's like.
Yeah.
Great
I played it again on my meds.
To be fair, off your face on morphine.
Really appreciate
it might be the way to play, Blake, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It's certainly thrown a spanner in the works, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. Not just for the podcast either. Everyone's furious with me at the moment about the timing of this.
I'm quite nervous about the draft because I just looked through my list of stuff that I played and finished this year, and it's a really middling list mostly, and it's just trying to find stuff that's good is a bit difficult.
Here's the way I'm looking at it, and we shouldn't really be talking about this, but let's do it. I've got a bunch of games that I really like on there, but I haven't got one game that I'm like, this has to win.
Yeah, I've got the same thing.
I don't know if that's going to make for a more interesting show or a worse one.
This is why I'm thinking of still drinking. Because, there's not much in general.
He has changed his tune, hasn't he? He's found where the whiskey is sold in Germany. That's what it is. Right, okay. Look, should we get on with the show? Should we get on to the feedback?
Yeah, this is also the last standard Monday recording of the year for us because everything else is
so it is
on different days.
Bloody hell!
It's all
fucking hell.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah. Okay, we have feedback. Feedback again from Ambrose. Ambrose, if you were here last week, told us the story of saying about stickers and game and
confused.
So we have more information. Ambrose here again. This is a follow-up email regarding how I used to slip used games from their cases. How it used to be, and I'm not sure if it's the same these days, is that when you bought a used game from Game, they would take the empty case from you at the till, put the disc inside, and then seal it with a single security sticker. And their policy was that if that sticker was intact and untampered with, you could return the game within 30 days, no questions asked. It even said it on the sticker. So what I used to do was to buy a game or games, complete them, and then return them within that 30 days. Then maybe after a week, I would go back and repeat the process again. Hope this clears the confusion up, as I was trying to keep my original message as brief as possible, but it backfired. Sorry.
It makes complete sense. Makes total sense now. That's fine. Yeah. It's not fine, but it's fine.
In your last email, you just said a sticker, but that had essential plot information on that sticker. Maybe you should have included that. But thanks for clearing it up.
Yeah, and now that's confirmed. My first thought was surely the staff would get wise to it, but then I've just clocked the next one from Sarah. So
well, hold on. Before we move on to Sarah, the original question, because I don't want it to change our point of view. The original question was, is he the arsehole? And I'm going to go, absolutely not.
Nah. I mean, it's
no way you're the arsehole for doing that.
It's fine. I mean, it's not fine, obviously, but it's also fine. It's okay.
If you found a loophole, you didn't break the sticker, you didn't break what they asked you to do, you worked out a way of doing it, I mean, that's their fault, if anything. They should have put a sticker at the top and the bottom as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you can get the disc out without breaking the seal, as it were, then
yeah.
More
if
for
anything,
them.
how the hell do you get it off of that little clicky in bit?
Well,
the little, I don't know. I mean, I mind you, half of them
Because
are
you
broken
can't do
anyway.
that through the box, can you?
well,
What do you mean? What
the amount of times you if you do buy a disc game, that stuff is not on the clicky bit in the middle anyway.
You can
Yeah,
manipulate
I know.
that from outside anyway.
Yes.
Like if you just
Can you?
Punch
you
it.
can definitely.
Can you, James?
Oh,
Okay,
can you,
all
James?
right. Let's go. Sarah Dyer.
Yeah, Ambrose Racket. Oh, sorry, Ambrose's Racket. Ambrose's Racket is also a good episode title. There's no way. So this is a quote. There's no way the cashier will go, well, here's the sticker, here's your 40 quid. That's exactly what happened. We didn't get paid enough to care more.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
As someone who used to work in game previously, said, well, I can see a sticker, therefore money is yours. Good day to you.
It is true, though, but when you're a kid, they might as well be the police behind that counter.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God. Do you remember trading stuff in and walking in there and just like feeling sick from nerves
I
that
still
they
feel
might
like
go?
that.
Yeah, I still get that now.
I still
Yeah.
get that because they spuriously claim that the discs are fucked.
Yeah, or the controller doesn't work properly or whatever, and it's
like, well, we can put it
I
in the
remember
magic
I had an
repair
American
machine.
version of a game, and I knew it was an American version of a game, and I knew I shouldn't be trading it in, and I've just felt so scared. I did it like a couple of times when I was a kid because it imported a couple of games, and there was one where I took it up and they tried to scan it twice, and they went, "Oh, it's not going through." So they just typed the title in and gave me the money. So I was happy with that. The second time they did it, they went, "It's an American game, mate." And I went, "Oh, is it?"
What? Worked in my
How
PlayStation.
did that get in here?
What? What?
What? I'm sorry, what? Are you for real?
I'm so sorry, partner. I've been
can't
over here
believe
I've only been over here for 4 weeks.
I don't
believe it.
There's a snake in my boot.
Somebody put us in the water. Oh. Right, okay. That's not what happened, but you know what I mean.
But,
It's fun to imagine, though, isn't it? It's fun to.
it is.
It is.
always
With me with little bootsies on.
Oh, don't say that. It was a bit. Okay.
What?
SNW. To add some weight to James's fantasy zone theory that Cyberpunk will be coming to Game Pass, I bought the game last week and had zero time to play it, so it will almost certainly now come to Game Pass before I even boot it up.
Yeah, I mean,
That's officially how it
I'm in a
works.
similar situation. I paid £60 for that game.
Ooh.
I played 45 minutes of it, and I went, I'll wait for the next gen version. And if it launches on Game Pass, it's like, I shouldn't have bothered. But, you know, hindsight, innit? What can you do?
I paid £50 to buy it digitally, and I didn't even boot it up. I didn't even get to the menu, and I just thought, I'm getting a refund on this.
Yeah, don't blame you.
Even better.
At least you got that refund.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Jack Go, hi, chums. This is about HDR after David last week basically destroyed HDR and said no one uses it and it's pointless, and if you use it, you're a wanker.
That's the quote.
none of
That's
that was
exactly what he
None of
said.
that was said. Have you noticed how bitter they got about that? I didn't expect the backlash when we started talking about
got bitter
HDR.
about
the
it?
HDR
You two
Defense
did.
League, whatever.
You two did.
You get bitter about
James,
it.
you went, yeah, you did. You went, David, is this you trying to justify not having HDR on your TV?
No, I think I was
No, it's not- no.
absolutely not what I said. I just said, is this just because you can't see it anyway?
I think
because you don't have HDR.
the actual quote from James was, "Look, David, I know you're poor, but I mean the rest of us."
I know you bought a TV in an opportune moment. But, you know.
I'm standing by that TV purchase. I think that was a great idea, great shout. Saved me £700, James, at the time. Thank you very
wait
much.
a couple of more months, you could have got one for like 500 with HDR probably.
Absolutely not. No, probably. He always whacks that in at the end of his
Because
thing.
you
just
have
to
to,
say
don't
something.
you? Otherwise, you then start looking things up on the Argos catalogue or whatever and start,
just
you know.
don't say things that
James,
you don't
just
know are
don't-
true.
Just stop guessing things. Just stop guessing.
Because what
Right,
I
go
love
on,
about James doing that is that he is the academic among us, and that's the last thing you're supposed to do in academia. Like, everything's got to be reference and research.
Exactly, and so
I've
in this
always got to
forum,
add
I'm free
probably
to not
because you'll
bother.
just prove me wrong
That's
with
true.
facts.
Is this how like chefs hate to cook at home? Is it a similar thing? You just
Yeah,
like you
this
come
is-
on there,
this
and
is
cook
like-
whatever.
Here I don't have to
Make shit
care,
up.
so it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
So you actually go the opposite.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Anyway, Jack Go. Hi, chums. HDR hasn't gone away, but it's an ungodly mess with a big lack of standardization. It's beyond the means of most punters to understand, and is constantly misreported by gaming and tech sites who don't really understand it either. Most TVs and virtually all monitors can't do it justice. However, things will improve with the adoption of Dolby Vision, which removes a lot of the calibration steps needed on individual TVs and idiot-proofs the process to a higher degree. It's recently live on Xbox Series X for plenty of games, including all auto HDR games. There are alternatives, next-gen HDR standards, but Dolby seems set to win that fight now the Series X has adopted it. And he also goes on to say Halo Infinite does play the Gregorian chant during the menus. Do you want to take that back?
It didn't in the first few days though, did it?
Did not.
It played different music. No, it did. You didn't launch and it didn't go.
Oh shit! So I wonder if it's one of those things that I like because it's so synonymous. I wouldn't have even. You know, like when a game boots up and it shows you the physics logo, you just don't even see it anymore because it's just like...
It had that. Yeah, it used to launch with that in the main menu. I swear it did. It did for me. But thanks, Jack Go. I mean, you're definitely on that. I totally agree with you. I don't think HDR is shit. I just don't think it's working at the moment, clearly.
Yeah, it's just not.
It's been out for ages.
Yeah, but as I say, it's everyone, like a lot of people, myself included, bought sort of, cheap early HDR TVs. And like, certainly there were games where it was really striking. Like I remember I turned it on Destiny 2 and I was like, holy fuck. But I gather that is now...
I was really impressed with it when John showed it to me on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, wow, okay, it's very different. And then I saw it around a friend's house playing Forza Horizon 4 and I was like, okay, that you can see the difference there.
Yeah.
But then that was like 2 games in the... You know what I mean?
Well, because what's weird is, I mean, again, this is another Red Dead 2 moment, is that I later found out that Destiny 2 is held up as like an example of it being done really badly because it's like it's like super high because I like, to me it was really striking because it was like really high contrast, but that's not what HDR is about. It's about getting more of those fucking mid-tones, isn't it? So it's currently
I accept
not...
your apology, James.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. You were right.
I've got double vision and things do look gorgeous, but move on.
Does it? Okay.
I always freaks me out the calibration process with like HDR stuff, and it'll be like, right, here's a grid, and it'll be like, right, keep making it brighter until you can't see the grid anymore. And I'm like, but surely that's removing detail then. Surely.
No. That's just they're saying that the things that are supposed to be that dark. It's a way of showing. No. Okay. It's not doing that. It's not saying if you, until you can't see this symbol, well then I'm not going to see enemies. Like it's not like that. I know that's not what you're saying, but you know what I mean. I think it is just to get the blacks right on your screen. I don't know. Fucking hell. I skip past most.
Yeah, but it's that. But it's also making sure it's bright enough. So because so much of it. When I think HDR, I think about like when you see like the sun in these games, and it's not just a white light. It's got like a different type of light,
actual light source in your room. Isn't
it?
It's like fucking hell.
Sean, whenever I do those calibration things with the logos and that, and make it darker, I make sure I get to the point where I can't see it. So it says, "Do it until you can't see this logo." I do that and then notch it up up like
I was doing
3
exactly
or 4
the same thing.
It's usually way too dark. It's well annoying. Go on.
6squid_games, read James's Hibernation. If Dr. Farley is planning human hibernation, as his colleagues claim, I would like to simply remind him to conserve as much energy as possible. Bats, tortoises, and lemurs all do this effectively based on their metabolism. So please, TCGS team, do not wind up Dr. Farley, force him to put up curtains, or make him record 2-hour Dark Souls streams, as these are all energy-intensive activities. Let's all do our part to help the good doctor achieve suspended animation.
I don't think you need to worry about James doing less. I think you're okay there.
He's got that covered.
We got that covered.
Thanks,
Dave. I'll be honest, after the weather we've had this...
You're very welcome, James.
After the weather we've had this week, I could go for a bit of fucking hibernation. Jesus Christ.
Oh, mate, tell me about
Crash
it.
landed
walking out
straight into winter. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it was horrific, was it? It's just like overnight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
I get that thing as well. Do any of you get that thing where if you're out in the cold for too long, your fingers go white? and then you can't feel them for about an hour.
Mine go fucking blue in like no time. It's ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
You're not good with weather at all, are you?
Yeah, just physical reality is just a problem for me, to be honest. Just put me in like a warm bath and just turn the lights off, leave me to it. That's it.
Yeah, it sounds like a stream. The Good Doctor. Hello, TCGS co-founders. Please, oh please, can we remove James's mic muting ability? In the last show, James said he nearly passed out from his laughing/coughing fit and mentioned knocking his mic across the room. I wish we could have heard that. We all need to hear those near-death laughing experiences from James. His laugh is so contagious that it could set the world on fire. We need to hear it. Much love. Stay healthy, y'all.
James, we've asked you about this several times throughout the years of podcasting, and you've always said no.
Yeah, because I think it would sound awful. Honestly, it would sound awful, and I'd be worried. Although it has crossed my mind a couple of times that, like, what if I do actually just like die doing this one day and I'm on mute?
Yeah, we want to.
No one will know. Like, and that would be unfortunate.
We want to get that. Yeah, that's gold.
I
think how many downloads we get?
Yeah, just keep it on, James. And if you do die or it is a massive mess, I'll just mute it. It's fine. But
we'll take it out in the edit. It's fine. Not a problem.
Yeah. We'll do it. We'll add the like sound effect over the top of it.
Yeah, and then we'll do a talks over for it for Patreon.
Yeah, and obviously we'll play the whole thing at your funeral.
Yeah. Oh no, I think we should play the 3 hours of farting at his funeral.
Speaking of which, right? I like unedited James Farley. Did anyone watch his stream on Friday?
I saw some of the clips.
The clips.
Oh my word!
Next level.
I've never heard James lose it like that before.
No,
never heard him lose it. Like, do you want to hear it? Should we hear it, James?
You don't have to.
I don't think he wants. I don't think he wants to relive it, does he?
Well, I do.
Won't shut up. She wasn't happy.
Yeah, sensational viewing.
Right,
absolutely sensational.
Listen to this. Like, there's real passion in his voice. Listen.
Right, fucking, I'm done. Absolutely fucking done with this. Right, that's it. I'm done. Okay. Anyway.
James, do you want to talk us through your stream?
It was horrible because I'm stuck on this boss at the moment, which is really irritating me. Like, really, really irritating me because it's this one where there's... Sean, you've played all of this, haven't you?
I have. I know which one it is. Yeah, it is a pain in the arse.
With the skeletons that keep getting reanimated all the time, and then there's this horse that, like, goes through. And the first time I died because I thought it was like an arena that was, like, round in a circle. You know, like it went round, you know... in a circle, and I walked off the side and just died, and that really really irritated me. But also the hitboxes are really weird as well. Like there's a couple of times where you just get hit and nothing's anywhere near you at all. Like, and it's just.
I presume the chat told you about how to stop the skeletons reanimating. Yeah.
No, they didn't. Well, no. I know that it's by killing the wizards,
the necromancers. Yeah.
There's the two of the necromancers or whatever. I can do one of them, and then I can do the second one. But then it was really annoying because then I was so close to actually beating the boss, and then I just got cocky, and then I died, and I was just really annoyed. But that was a time when I just couldn't get back to it either, and it was it was really irritating me. I got really annoyed, actually.
That was genuine then? You were genuinely furious?
I was genuinely getting really fed up with it because it was just... Because it's one of those things where I know that I could do it, but it just felt unfair. And mostly in the game, it never feels unfair. It always feels like, you've messed up, that's your fault. But this just felt completely ridiculous. It's
because it's something that Dark Souls 2 got a lot of stick for a lot of the bosses in it, where they just sort of clearly designed a boss and then sort of went, actually, this isn't very hard or interesting. Let's just add loads more enemies that you also have to deal with. Yeah. And it's pretty unsatisfying. But yeah.
Okay.
So irritating.
All right.
So yeah, it did annoy me. I did get a bit irritated.
But you're not quitting, James.
I'm still going to go back, obviously. I'm not stopping.
And you're not getting rid of your mute button?
No.
What if we did it for one show? Like in the new year?
It depends on how funny you all are, as to whether that's going to happen or not, anyway.
I'm pretty funny, mate.
Oh, yeah, we're pretty good.
Yeah, we're all pretty funny.
Yep.
Yeah. Aren't we?
Yeah.
I hope so.
I nearly killed you with a joke last week, James. That's about as funny as it gets, isn't it?
I think the last time I really laughed was when we were watching that film over your house. and there was that thing with the
Star Wars.
What was it called?
with the grass and
The grass.
That's all Star Wars. That was it.
that's one,
all
yeah.
Star Wars.
Right.
we
Don't
looked
say
at
with
that
the
guy.
grass, James.
No, we looked up that
Fuck's
guy,
sake.
and then it was like,
Yeah, we looked up the guy. There was no. Yeah, okay.
I thought you were going to say you were smoking a
clear.
doobie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
it's being legalised over
Um,
here, which is interesting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which is interesting.
Yeah, mate.
A very
Gaming Year
relaxed
Show
James
interesting,
Farley
wasn't
coming next week.
it? Right, okay.
That is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Leave your feedback or question.
It's time for the news then.
Yeah, so just after we recorded last week, Nintendo also commented on what's been going on inside Activision Blizzard. And what they did this through an internal email that was sent to all NOA staff. They said, along with you all, this is Doug Bowser, along with you all, I've been following the latest developments with Activision Blizzard and the ongoing reports of sexual harassment and toxicity at the company. I find these accounts distressing and disturbing. They run counter to my values as well as Nintendo's beliefs, values and policies. And then he also added that Nintendo have been in contact with Activision, and although there's no detail about what they've actually done, they said that they have taken action and are assessing, what to do next. But he also mentioned that they contacted the ESA and said that he said every company in the industry must create an environment where everyone is respected and treated as equals, and where all understand the consequences of not doing so. So that's, all three platform holders now have said something about this. Although it's interesting how they've all done this through sending a letter to their own staff, but they're not doing it kind of publicly. It is public, but do you know what I mean? It's not like
if we're hearing about it,
sending an
it's public.
internal email, but obviously with no sort of expectation that it'll be kept secret. I suppose is a way of essentially doing it publicly, but looking like you are, essentially you are addressing your own staff primarily.
Yeah.
I suppose it's a nicer way of doing it rather than just going, oh, you may have seen this press release we put out. Do you know what I mean?
Also, I guess it kind of shows that they're saying, look, we're sending this to our staff because we know that we take this, they know that we take this stuff seriously.
Yeah.
If they were just to put a press thing out there, you'd think, I wonder if the staff agree with that.
Yeah.
And I guess this, not saying that it does, as I said, we don't work for Nintendo, so we don't know what it's like in there. But that, I guess, is the idea behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, has there been any follow-up
Yes.
from Activision?
So following this, Activision Blizzard have now created a workplace responsibility committee. And so the committee initially is comprising two independent directors from Activision's board. One is Dawn Osteroff, who was an independent director at Activision since 2020, and she's also Spotify's chief content officer. She's going to be the chair. And then there's also Ravita Bowers, who has been an independent director since 2018. And so they're running this board. And this is the purpose of the board. They said the company's progress is in successfully implementing its new policies, procedures, and commitments to improve workplace culture and eliminate all forms of harassment and discrimination. And this will include getting management to develop key performance indicators and/or means to ensure progress and ensure accountability. So what's going to happen is that Kotick and the other managers are apparently going to have to report progress regularly to this board. And apparently since October, when this all kind of began, they've been having bi-weekly meetings to review progress. And they also receive weekly written reports as well about what's going on. So
Something.
Wouldn't it be an idea not to have a boss on, like...
I was going to
just
say, isn't it
have
basically, because I saw people on Twitter saying, like, well, this is all sort of bullshit because it's board members who have already voted to keep Kotick in place.
Yeah.
So,
you could read it that way, Sean, almost certainly. But it's,
So, yeah.
Okay. That's sad.
And then also there's been another thing where there's a lawsuit that's accused Sony, like Interactive Entertainment, of gender discrimination. So this was Axios reported that a lawsuit has been filed against Sony by a former IT security analyst, and she's accusing the company of gender discrimination and wrongfully terminating her contract because she spoke up about it. And she says that the reason that Sony doesn't provide the same career advancement opportunities to women as it does to men, and she argues that between 2015 and 2021 she didn't receive any promotions and she had the same staff title, whereas other people had further career advancement. And the lawsuit, I'll read you the quote for what the lawsuit says. It says, Sony's management does not provide sufficient oversight or safety measures to protect against intentional and overt discrimination or the disparate impact of facially neutral policies and procedures. Female employees, including those who are female and those who identify as female, suffering from discrimination are without recourse. And she says that as soon as she signed the statement detailing the discrimination, she was fired, basically from the company. And she said that she was notified that her employment had come to an end because the company was eliminating a department, but she wasn't even part of that department that was being closed down. And that was it. But so far, no response from Sony, I don't think.
Yeah, that sounds like a bit more personalised. Well, yeah, it said that'll be one to follow what comes out of that lawsuit, wouldn't it?
Well, also because they're trying to make it into perhaps a class action suit. You know, they're asking if other people can come forward as well and give their experiences.
Yeah. Because that also comes only a few days after Jim Ryan obviously kind of criticised Kotick and Activision's response to reports, and then only a couple of days later this comes out.
Yeah.
So everyone's got work to do, basically.
Yeah.
So, the most popular game console, this is, again, a horrible tonal shift, because now we're moving into Black Friday sales and all that kind of thing. And
that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, and apparently Black Friday for this year, the most popular console wasn't the PS5, it was the Xbox Series S. Apparently it's done very, very well. Yeah.
I mean, this is not surprising at all.
What I always say. Yeah, it's surely it's just it's down to supply, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's cheap
you can't
and
get
available.
PS5s.
Yeah, these things are never worth going on until later on in the generation. I mean, usually suppliers evened out a little bit by now, but we all know what issues are going on around the world in terms of supply of consoles and chips and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, good that the console's selling, because I think, there's a fantastic market for that. I know a lot of, I've recommended it to a lot of people.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Saying just get a Series S.
So you're saying you're down to this? You're saying they should have quoted you, and it was you recommended a lot of people go.
Yeah. I mean, I should be given some credit.
I was going to say some sort of commission seems in order, to be honest.
Well,
I'll just
say that might already be in place.
Does it mention?
Okay.
All right. No, I can't. Hang on. No, you're not mentioned on this one, David.
Okay. All right. Well, we all moved on from that, Matt. But if we want to go back to it, it's funny because it is that sort of console that I'm hearing a lot of parents are buying for their kids because they haven't got a 4K telly in their bedroom. You know what I mean? And they've got Game Pass, so they've already got a ton of games on it. But I don't think it reflects anything really until supply sort of evens out.
I think also maybe it's also, like you said, it's the market though as well that is buying games at the moment is maybe a little different. Like before, like with the launch, you have like basically the hardcore and everything are going for like the for the Series X and for the PS5 and everything. Whereas now we're at that stage where it's like other people are starting to get into, and this is
Excuse
the cheap.
me, I'm a Series S owner and I'm pretty fucking hardcore. Actually, I think you'll find.
Well,
me too as well. Sean, actually,
exactly.
You won't play Halo online because you're too scared.
Didn't say that. Just said I'm bad at it.
I would say, but so am I. I still go on there. I will say, I also find we're not going to get away from it. There's always going to be that who sold more consoles, Xbox or PlayStation. But as I've said before, I think now it's more relevant than ever. Like, they're going for two completely different markets. They're trying to make money in two completely different ways. Yeah. Comparing console sales to each other, I don't think it makes for a good headline and fuels the whole Xbox PlayStation thing. But I don't think it's reflective of anything.
No, especially go on, sorry, James.
Especially when in some areas, it's the Switch is the one that's like beating everybody anyway.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Everyone ignores that. Yeah,
like we had that in last week in Japan. It turns out it's now sold more than the PS2, which is crazy. Yeah, it's already at that level, and it could easily do that. I think elsewhere now.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny when you think of the business model. You would say that Sony versus Nintendo is more of a accurate comparison. Because when you've got Microsoft that are like, play wherever the fuck you want, just get a PC if you want, we don't give a shit, just sign up to our service, that's what they're going for. Whereas like Sony and Nintendo are very much like, here is our console, here are our games, you buy our console, you buy our games. That's that's the model they're going for. So I think they could be compared. But then, obviously you bring into it that the markets are completely different as well. The type of audience that they're going for and they're trying to capture. So.
But yeah, it's doing well though, and I
Sorry
love
to
mine.
shit all over your news story, James.
No, it's fine because I love my Series S. I think it's a fantastic console. It's great.
Do you not regret getting an X though?
Not really. Why?
You have said that to me in the past.
Yeah, maybe a little bit for some things, but not.
What a turnaround.
No, I do a little bit, but not really massively because it's great. It's a really nice console. The S.
The first time it has bothered me having a Series S was when I was trying to get a cheap copy of Guardians of the Galaxy this week. And so it is. You can now get I think it's on CD keys or something. You can get it for like 30 quid, via a code.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a while it was like everyone was like, "Hey, it's the disc version." And I was like, "I can't fucking got nothing to shove it in." So that was annoying. But this is the first time it's bothered me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's felt like a saviour for me on the PS5 getting the disc version.
I can totally see that on the PS5. Yeah.
Those games are so expensive.
Yeah.
So just being able to trade it in and get a second-hand one is just,
But also
it's been
stuff's
really
on
good.
sale on disc much more often. It's like I got Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm going to talk about later. For it was like less than 30 quid. It was like about 28 euros or whatever, which was pretty good. And anyway,
but this stuff about the Series S, this is exactly what Microsoft needed to do. Like when they announced both consoles, they're like, "Well, it's all very well having a cheaper one, but if that one is as supply constrained as the Series X, and it's kind of pointless. Whereas if they have millions of these ready to go or much more readily available, then they can make a real dent in PlayStation, and it looks like that they might be doing that because they do actually have the supply to sell." So it'd be very interesting to see what this does. I mean, it may not do anything in the grand scheme of things because ultimately people still want PS5s and Series X's, but at least they are doing the things that they needed them to do, which is have the supply out there for people to buy.
Do you reckon the Series S would also shift more Game Pass subscriptions as well? Simply because...
You kidding me?
Yeah, because of the fact that you have to
hand
buy
in
the
hand.
games, download
Digital.
or whatever.
Yeah,
it just makes even more sense to get it with the S.
Well, not only that, they've released they're releasing two big games in the space of 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
2 big Microsoft Studio games coming out in the space of 2 months is quite a big thing when you look at the competition at the moment. They're not. I mean, Nintendo and Sony haven't really got anything out this Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know what there is actually. Like for Sony, I don't know what's their Christmas game. I don't think there is one at the moment.
It's just it's a third parties, isn't it? I guess. But but Xbox has had Forza Horizon 5 and Halo coming in just over a week, or maybe a week by the time you hear this. It's an impressive run into Christmas.
I think also it bodes well for Series S owners that obviously developers and publishers are going to be seeing that there is totally an appetite for this, and sort of earlier on in the Series S's lifespan there were a few some games were coming up on Game Pass or whatever, and playing them on the Series S wasn't a great experience. There's performance issues and stuff, and so and with it being early on in the generation, it was easy to sort of think, well, shit, is this how it's going to be? Is the Series S version just going to be well, what do you expect? It's the cheaper console, it's not as powerful. Whereas it looks like, it's been a while since I played. Maybe there's been a couple, but there were games that were sort of widely criticised for performance issues, not specifically to the Series S, but broadly speaking, it feels like support for it has been a lot more solid. And if it continues to sell, I think it's devs are going to have to make it a priority.
Help the situation. Yeah, for sure.
I know we'll never get a breakdown because Microsoft won't ever give that, but it'll be fascinating to understand in a year or 2 time what the breakdown is between Series S and Series X.
Totally.
If it, what if it's amazing if it's 5-1, or would it be actually closer to 2-1, 3-1?
I think the X will still be the more popular console.
I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
I really don't think so.
I think it will be.
Maybe in 2 or 3 years' time when there's more stock, but in these initial first 2 years, there's going to be way more Series S consoles,
and it's the
price. Series X.
It's the price for the casual market. It's they're just gonna. It's a much better price, for things.
Okay.
Anyway, Epic have acquired Harmonix.
Okay.
Wow, Harmonix. Okay.
Now,
I didn't know this.
So Epic have said that Harmonix are now going to create musical journeys and gameplay for Fortnite. That's.
Oh,
Come on.
But then it's fine. They said they're also going to continue support for existing games such as Rock Band 4. And then Harmonix said, together we will push the creative boundaries of what's possible and invent new ways for our players to make, perform and share music in Fortnite. Well, I added that bit at the end, but, it's...
The thing is, right, okay, so obviously, I'm sulking about them doing Fortnite stuff, but also, hand on heart, I don't think I knew Rock Band 4 was a thing.
Really?
So...
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was a thing. I knew it came out. I didn't realise they were still supporting it.
Yeah, there's still stuff coming out for it. I've been trying to get it for ages. It come out at the same
time. Do you remember Guitar Hero Live?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Well, yeah, it came out at the same time as that, didn't it? Because it was like, oh my God, there's two of them coming out at the same time. That's a bit weird. Look, I after playing the Artful Escape this year, I think about Harmonix and how good they are with music, and just think, look at that. And see what you can do in terms of more traditional gameplay and incorporating music and creating a musical experience. Like, focus on that shit. That's where I'm looking.
It's just, I mean,
Harmonix.
I prefer if they create musical journeys in the metaverse, actually, personally, David.
Fuck the metaverse, Matt.
I mean,
fuck you.
This is the thing, like, so I'm not wild about, like, Epic just hoovering up other developers left, right and centre, but also Harmonix have, like, despite, like, having such an incredible, legacy and, like, all the amazing games they've put out, they've... aside from a few breakout moments, they've never had like an easy time of it. Like, they've put out so many brilliant games that just didn't shift at all.
DJ Hero.
Did that not do well, did it?
No.
Oh, did it not?
That's not Harmonix though. That was not DJ Hero's.
That was the other one. That was the other one. That was the other one, wasn't it, David? That was the other one.
The other one.
Put your emails away. That was the other one.
But so even like from the early days, Frequency and Amplitude, brilliant games. That was basically Sony just sort of supporting them because they thought they were cool. And then obviously Guitar Hero and Rock Band happened, and like that was amazing for them. But then since then, it's been a tricky time. Like, was it Audica, Matt, they did for VR, and apparently that's not amazing. And then it was Fuse. It was Fuse of the card game, or was that something else?
No,
I can't remember.
There's always a card game,
like Beat Mix or something, wasn't it?
Drop Mix, that was it.
Yeah,
Drop Mix.
Drop Mix was a card game.
Drop Mix,
Fuse was
Drop
the
Mix,
digital version.
Right, that's it. Yeah, and again, when the first videos of Drop Mix were coming out, everyone was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" I don't know anyone who bought it.
I know someone that bought it, and we played it. And it wasn't
didn't work
great, was it?
No, it worked.
It worked.
Just,
no, it just wasn't actually fun to do.
So basically what I'm saying is I don't blame Harmonix for just being like, if this is how we can continue to survive and keep doing cool and interesting things that even if they don't necessarily sell that well, then fine. Like as a security move for them, I don't blame them.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Epic have bought them, but we would have been gone otherwise.
Exactly. It's like if they secure the livelihoods,
hanging on for so long anyway.
yeah,
I'm amazed they're still going.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This is good news for them, and we'll see what musical journeys they create in the metaverse.
Do you know? I'd love to play another Rock Band. It'd be great, but it's never going to happen, is it? They're not going to do another one now.
Granddad.
I reckon no, James. But when they announced Rock Band 4, did you say, "Okay, I'm buying this"? I missed the old days.
Day one,
I did own it.
Ooh.
I did have it.
Well, but like the full kit, or just the guitar?
I only had the guitar. It's I always wanted all the other stuff, but it was ridiculously expensive.
Matt, you can't say that you got him then. Matt
went
for you, James, and you deflected beautifully.
Well done, James.
That was good. That was a parry.
But
that one.
What I'm saying, so if there was Rock Band 5 guitar, you'd buy that, you'd get back into it.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to play that again. Seriously,
Matt,
I sometimes spend time on eBay like looking at guitars, Matt, to see if I can find something that'll work on PS5. But
they're expensive now, aren't they? The old ones.
They're quite expensive. Yeah, if you're trying to find anything, it's quite difficult.
I do feel very silly. I think basically all my any plastic instruments I once had are all in landfill somewhere now. I think I managed to charity shop a few of them, and then some it was like, they're a bit knackered or whatever. They're all just bin. Shame.
Well, I mean, I've been watching that Beatles documentary, and it makes me want to get Rock Band Beatles again.
Man, everyone fucking loved that. You see, again, that was another one that should have been this fucking huge moment for them. Like all the
it was. I thought it did really well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did
Yeah,
really
fair
well.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yes,
It was the
Beatles,
Green
though.
Day one that no one cared about for obvious reasons.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's-
First ever gig that was the Green Day.
Really?
Go to see Green Day.
what
Yeah,
what
that's a
era
good
was this?
first
Sort
one.
of American Idiot? No, it'd be prior to that, surely.
Only
It
their
was
first two
prior
albums are good.
Yeah.
Or first
to
three,
American
maybe.
Idiot,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it was weird because it was one of those shows where you look at it and you go, oh my God, so many amazing things happen. And then you see a recording of another show from like 5 years previous and you're like, oh, it was all scripted. Oh, how disappointing is that? Oh, you got someone on stage and they could play your song, did they? Fucking hell. God.
there's been a new Sony patent for a mobile controller discovered. So this is according to VGC. The patent describes a left side grip portion and a right side grip portion gripped by the left and right hands of the user, as well as a shaft portion that can be tilted by the user and detects the tilt.
Oh, excuse me.
This is so neat. Ooh.
And
Jesus.
it detects the tilting direction and tilting amount of the shaft portion.
Oh, God.
Oh, Sean, did you write this?
Sony, it's no, not November. Can we calm down?
2 days to go.
I am fully hard.
Is that in the pattern?
So no one knows if this is for remote play or more likely mobile games. That are
I'm
probably
looking
coming.
at the bit. I know you can't really go off the diagrams from these things, but that is literally a PlayStation controller cut in half with a mobile phone stuck in the middle.
Yeah, but haven't they been filing all sorts of weird patents this month?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff. There was
Yeah,
that
everyone
banana,
does.
wasn't there, that they had that was like a banana controller with like buttons on it and stuff. It's this all just
Hold on,
nonsense.
Sega have already done that, haven't they?
No.
Sega
do
did
you
the
not mean
banana
Sony's
controller. What do you mean?
boomerang
No,
controller?
yes, they did.
Sorry,
Did they?
I'm looking at this news story and it ends with Wipeout Rush has been confirmed for mobile devices coming to iPhone and Android in early 2022. It's already out. I've played it. And it certainly doesn't need a controller. What's that got to do? Whatever.
God, you know, Sean, I was really worried then. I thought I'd messed up, and I thought, oh no, is this like an old story? And I didn't realise. Just checked, updated 29th of November, so it's okay. That's
Yeah,
today.
he's loving it. No, you don't know about the banana controller from Sega?
Was that for Monkey Ball?
I missed this.
Yeah, Monkey Ball, the arcade game. It was a banana, wasn't it? The joystick was a banana.
I don't remember this.
Oh my God, you're supposed to be hardcore, Sean. You're supposed to be
I
hardcore.
didn't even think you were
And
talking to me.
Matt,
Sorry.
Matt, you're supposed to be Sega's biggest fan.
Sorry, I wasn't keeping abreast of their banana controllers.
Well, you know, call yourself a fan.
I've gone to Google and I was going to type in Monkey Ball banana because I just kind of want to see it. And it's auto-filled it to Monkey Ball Crypto. What the fuck is going on? What's happening? Is this Sega trying to get a few quid out of the old
Oh
ones?
my God. Oh my Lord. I've just seen, I'm going to post it. Sorry, listeners. I'm going to post the picture of the arcade cabinet in the group chat.
Okay.
And I must admit, if ever there was just look at it and it looks dodgy. I ain't going to lie.
Oh my!
Look at this.
That can't be real.
That is
Christ,
real.
yeah,
That
that's
is
like-
real.
Oh yeah.
That's like sex
That is-
education classes.
I was going to
That's
say,
really
yeah, I
unfortunate.
could just imagine someone demonstrating how to put a Johnny on it. Like,
Yeah,
That's really unfortunate. Look at that.
Yeah,
Well.
just Google Super Monkey Ball arcade machine to
it's
see
not a
what we're
sit-down
seeing
cabinet,
right
is
now.
it?
well, I was going to say, I mean, next time, if I ever come across one of those, I'm just straight away going to be like, someone.
I beg your pardon.
Like, someone's sat on this. Someone's had a perch.
Someone has had a perch. Right, okay, come on.
Goodness me.
Okay, so
Sorry. Yeah, so back on this. Yeah, did you say, James, it's probably going to be mobile games? So it feels like it'll probably be remote play.
That
Surely,
was
This
what
feels
I
like
was assuming.
I
Yeah.
said I've no idea if it's remote play or mobile games.
Oh,
So
right. I
it's-
thought it said probably. Yeah. This feels like okay. It's a great kind of official remote play controller.
yeah, but I don't know if it will be because they leave remote play to die. Like they don't care about it. It doesn't seem to be something that they're terribly bothered about.
Well, maybe they're waiting for something like 5G to really kick in, or whatever. Microsoft servers are going to help them make it better. Who knows? Interesting.
Maybe there'll be a big push for PS Now that will work on like mobile
I'm
devices.
surprised
isn't
by
it?
how much 5G's kicking off now because it's all over. Like it was just like in one small portion of where I live, and now it's pretty much everywhere. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
It's good.
It's like they turned it all on last week or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, they just like the Switch. I mean, yeah, I would imagine they're
You're struggling to get 4G.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm on O2, right? I used to be a Vodafone man, now I'm on O2. Fuck me, yeah, I just can't wait to get back onto 4G that fucking works properly. Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. Yeah, I can fully see them, like, waiting for 5G to properly kick off, plus whatever they work to do on Microsoft. I mean, maybe in a couple of years they will do the combined PS Now plus PS Plus, and that lean into more of like the xCloud stuff that they partnered with Microsoft for in the first place. So it could be good.
Okay. Next,
Dragon Age senior creative director has left BioWare. So this is Matthew Goldman. Has left.
How far off is this game supposed to be?
I don't know. When is it supposed to be coming out?
Next year,
it's supposed to be soon. Yeah, like next year. So
is it one of those? Because we've seen a lot of those stories where clearly their job is done and they've left.
I don't know if the job's done.
Do you reckon it's one of these?
There's quite a lot of people that have left BioWare recently, because there was Casey Hudson and also the Dragon Age executive, like Mark Darrah, both left last year as well. And then also the chief of staff and director of Anthem, Jonathan Warner, quit in March.
Well, I mean,
and so this guy's now gone. It says, so anyway, BioWare Vice President Gary McKay has said, "We understand that Matt's departure has an impact on you as well as the game's development. Rest assured, our commitment to a high-quality Dragon Age game has not wavered, and we will not ship a game that is not up to BioWare's standards. We, including EA's executive team, have absolute confidence in the leadership here at the studio and the people working on this game to carry forward our vision."
I mean, I don't want to be a dick.
I mean, they're not going to close them down, are they? No. Because we've got another Mass Effect in the works.
That's true.
So
yeah, teased that, didn't they?
I don't think it's one of those situations.
I was just going to say, I don't mean to be a dick, but what are BioWare's standards these days?
I know.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Since they've had a hit. I was also laughing at it. The email says that they, quote, mutually agreed to part ways. And I just love the idea of them being like, look, he said he was going to quit, and we told him we weren't having it. And he's gone anyway. We've begged him. No, he's gone. The idea that surely if someone quits, doesn't matter if it's
it's like a football manager leaving.
I think you're not getting a reaction. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think you're not getting a reaction out of us, Sean, because we hear this every week in the world of football.
Right.
Like that is like a standard thing. It's they've left by mutual agreement.
Usually it means there's been a massive bust up.
I was going to say, does that mean the club went, look, mate, you're shit, aren't you? And they went, yeah, I'm shit.
It usually means that in the contract when they signed up, it would say that they would always announce it by leaving as mutual agreement. That tends to be what it is.
So it doesn't look like you just got sacked. That's what's happened here then, or...
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I doubt it. Maybe it is. He just sort of said, "I want to go and work on something else." You never know. Everyone looks into these things.
Yeah. He's been there 19 years, which is quite a long time.
It is a long time.
He's done his time.
But yeah,
he's done his time.
But there's no release date yet for Dragon Age either, so it's
there isn't a
still running on.
I just assumed there was at least a ballpark one, but because they've shown like those few screenshots, right? That were fully like, holy shit, we haven't seen anything that's looked quite this good on consoles, at least. And then have
we seen screenshots or just concept art?
I'm pretty sure there were screenshots. I
can't remember what we've even seen.
It was just like environments and stuff. It wasn't really like actual gameplay or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I reckon we're at least 2 or 3 years away from that.
Should be.
Okay.
Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out, the next-gen version, at the beginning of next year, apparently, or Q1 next year. So this is...
Am I mad? Or was this already...
No, I thought...
This was already announced, wasn't it?
It was not, no. It's only just been announced, because they've got all their investor calls and everything going on at the moment, and they've just announced
all they said was next year. They didn't say...
Yeah. I mean, I assumed it was going to be the end of next year. That it was this was going to rumble on. But apparently, Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher 3 are coming in the first half of the year, and also they're releasing a major update for all platforms for Cyberpunk as well, which will come at the same time as the PS5 and Xbox Series X version of the game.
Please work and be amazing, so I can play that game. I still want to play that game. Please just work. No frame dropping. Looks good. Ray tracing on the X.
That's not happening. No way.
HDR.
I don't think it is, Sean. I don't think it is. But okay, fuck ray tracing. Like, I think that's a great piece of technology.
It looks great without a lot of, like, if you look at, like, optimization guides for the PC version, a lot of them are just like, fucking turn it off. Like, for the difference it makes, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. As long as it just runs smoothly, then I think I'll be happy. All right, the story may be weak. It may be, a bit like repetitive, whatever. I just want to spend some time in that world. I'll knock it down to easy and just fuck around in that world. That's what I want to do.
So, David, are you going to play it as soon as it's available, or are you going to wait and see if it's broken or not?
Wait. I'm going to wait to see if it's broken. Definitely. There's no point. There's no point in installing it again, booting it up again, because I want to start from the beginning. Because 45 minutes in, I could do that whole intro bit again.
It'd be nice, to just whatever state it's in, to just be able to play it and just be like, "This is it now." Do you know what I mean? Like, even if there are still problems, to just be like, "This is not going to change."
To bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the one now. Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's just talk about it as this is, as in its final incarnation, whatever that may be. Yeah, be interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, though. I just want to play it, see what it's like, and let's hope it comes out, it's good. Let's hope it comes out and it works, and then we can all decide whether it's good or not.
And then we'll work towards being good.
Let's
worry about it being good later.
Yeah,
let's make sure it works first.
And
Okay, next story is that as part of the 20th anniversary Xbox Museum, which is up now, like you can go on the website and sign in and get all your stats and everything.
God, that was a fucking awful way of doing it, wasn't it?
It was weird, wasn't it? Mine was wrong.
Shit.
It was all broken.
I hated it.
But anyway...
Just let me flick through it. I don't want to control a little man walking around a virtual museum.
It was very much them being impressed with what they'd made rather than prioritising you just being able to look through the information, wasn't it? It was
and also
I did think it was cool.
It made my phone super hot. It was like the back of my phone was boiling.
Of course, because I just opened it on my PC. It didn't occur to me that it would do it on your fucking phone as well. Jesus.
Yeah, I did it on my phone.
Yeah, that's what I was doing on my phone. Yeah. And it was just, my phone was just like, I am going to explode if you keep And I was like, don't worry, mate. I ain't going to do this for much longer. It's tedious. Go on.
So, as part of this, though, Microsoft revealed part of a letter that they sent to Nintendo when they tried to buy them. And so the letter was sent to Jacqueline Story, who was the head of Nintendo's business development at the time. And there's part of it you can read, which I'll read here. It says, "Dear Jacqueline, I appreciate you taking the time to try to arrange a meeting with Mr. Takeda and Mr. Yamuchi to describe a possible strategic partnership between Nintendo and Microsoft on future video game platforms. I understand Mr. Takeda's concern about the possible partnership and will try to," and then it's like kind of obscured, the guidelines that he has requested. And then
I tried to bribe him with,
tried to fuck with,
and then it's then Kevin Backus, who's the former director of third-party relations, then recalled how the meeting went, because it happened. They actually had the meeting, but it went rather poorly.
Wow!
And it's where it says Steve Ballmer made us go meet with Nintendo to see if they would consider being acquired. They just laughed their asses off. Like, imagine an hour of somebody just laughing at you. That was the kind of how that meeting went.
It's like James doing the news.
Yeah. And then he said a later pitch, they did like another pitch like a year after that, was that what would happen was that Xbox would focus on the Nintendo's hardware for them, and Nintendo would just focus on the games, and Nintendo actually went to the table to talk about that, like as a possibility. And he says the pitch was that their hardware stunk, and compared to Sony PlayStation it did. So the idea was, listen, you're much better at game portions of it with Mario and all that stuff. Why don't you let us take care of the hardware? It didn't work out, surprisingly. It's
wow.
I'd love to have been in those meetings just to sit.
I just love the idea of them laughing hysterically at the idea.
All right,
it's pretty good. Anyway, last story. So some Twitch streamers have been recording footage of people cheating in Halo Infinite.
Oh, good.
And
how are they cheating? What are they doing?
So apparently it's people using aim bots, and so presumably this is people on PC like doing this. So
is there a mod? I'd love to know this, where you can play mouse and keyboard against controller.
I think that's everything, isn't it?
Because
that is happening now with crossplay. That's another news story.
Right, okay, that needs to be off, because that's what happened. I mentioned that last night, wasn't it? That one player that was tearing us apart, Matt. And I said, when you look at the movement, it clearly wasn't done with a pad. But I thought it was just me getting frustrated, and maybe I was just totally wrong. I don't want to play against mouse and keyboard players.
Well, no, because you can switch that off. Like, there is a workaround where you can request to only play against people with controllers. But
what's
then,
what's the workaround?
well, no, as in, like, you can choose it in the settings.
Right,
like, you can say, I only
not
wanted.
really a workaround then.
No, because they're saying the reason it's a it's not an actual workaround because you're still going to get matched with PC players if they're using controllers instead.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
but then that's still.
Yeah, but it's not.
It doesn't defeat. I know. I understand that, David. Come on. I'm just trying to explain to you what they're saying. This is what it said in the fucking article. Okay.
I don't know if you do understand what a workaround is, though.
Well, okay. Explain that to Eurogamer because that's what they've written. And they.
Well, I know, but you've read the story. Surely you should go. Oh, Eurogamer have got that wrong. I'm not going to make the same mistake.
Just shut up. Anyway, it's,
Okay.
So anyway, so a lot of people are calling on 343 to allow them to disable crossplay and say, can we just play only like Xbox players and no PC at all?
Yes, that would be nice.
I'd like to go. I'd like them to go a step further actually and say, no, I don't want to play with Xbox One players either, because the amount of times it says you're loading the game. It's like, I've paid a lot of money not to see this loading screen for this long.
Yeah, it takes
because we're waiting for
sometimes.
fucking Xbox One players to catch up.
Yep.
Like, I can't do
Xbox
this
One
anymore.
or Series S players. It makes you sick.
Unbelievable.
Hey, Matt's finally coming round to our way of thinking.
No, it's a next-gen console. It's just a little bit slower.
No one said it wasn't a next-gen console, Matt.
Good.
Okay. I mean, that should be in there. I don't want to play with PC players. I don't want to play with Xbox One players. I just want serious players, please.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Always like fighting for crossplay, and then we're in a Halo. Like, well, no, turn that off. Turn that
not
shit
like
off.
that.
It's true.
We're getting
It's
destroyed
true.
here.
Yeah, but having it as an option is fine, right? Having it as an option is fine. And when I was thinking, when we were fighting for crossplay, I was thinking, Rocket League, I could play with PlayStation players and stuff like that. That's what I wanted it for. I didn't want to wait in a loading screen for ages because some people didn't buy the new ones, or B, play against mouse and keyboard people. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Okay.
Yeah,
don't want that.
I hope I want it turned off completely. And I knew you couldn't turn crossplay off, and I've looked in the settings when like the filters when you start to try and find a match about whether you can ensure it's no mouse and keyboard or whatever it is, and I couldn't find.
Oh, you found that workaround out, did you?
I didn't find
found
the
that
workaround.
workaround?
No, I tried. I
In the actual menu system. Okay.
But either way,
Okay.
I couldn't turn off properly, and I hope I do because obviously I'm not the greatest Halo player, so there's
not,
lots of people on controllers who are amazing. But there's also some people begin.
Poor James. He thought you were. He thought you were the greatest Halo
Shattered.
player. He was
James, I'm
absolutely
so sorry
just
if you find out
ruined
this way, but no.
And I should, so I'm pretty sure this is like a Microsoft thing because Sea of Thieves is the same. I think I'm pretty sure it's not crossplay on or off. It's just controllers only on or off. So I think this is just how they think it should be done. But I mean, if enough people kick off, then surely
It must be
they'll consider
annoying,
it.
Sean, in Sea of Thieves when someone's got an aimbot and
Well,
their
exactly,
shit
just sniping the fuck out.
kills
Yeah.
you instantly.
No, it's weird because I didn't really know why it's an option in Sea of Thieves. To be honest, it doesn't really seem like it's
Well,
that
one of the
important.
options in there is either it says there's a little toggle and it says Sea of Thieves or Sea of Friends. And
So you're joking, Dave, but that's
which one you
exactly
want.
what I want. So,
Sea of Friends is controller only people.
yep.
Right, okay. Are we done with the news?
We are, although I've got a Fantasy Zone piece.
Oh my
Hang
god,
on, let
they're
me-
coming thick and
Wait 1
fast
second,
now.
let me just put my seatbelt on. Hang on. Okay.
Let's
there we
go.
Well, not yet.
Fantasy Zone.
Wow. Look at it down here.
Oh,
Look, what
can't
can you
believe
see, Sean?
I've been all sick down my top.
I could see Jimi Hendrix standing on an elephant.
There he is.
look at him go. Look at the gracefulness of his
Guitar
guitar.
playing.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
the elephant hates it.
is that James over there? It's like a big
James!
floating James Farley
James.
head. Tell us, James, what is in your fantasy zone this week?
This comes via Jeff Keighley.
I thought you could say Jeff Grubb.
No, it's not Jeff Grubb this time.
It's a different Jeff, but it's still a Jeff.
I'm sure he's got something to say about it.
Jeff, hold on. Jeff Keighley doesn't do Fantasy Zone material, does he?
Not really, but then this is kind of tangentially create, like, you know.
I mean, no one does on purpose. They don't.
No.
Jeff Grubb doesn't know what this is, Dave. He doesn't.
Yeah. No one goes out to create
gotcha.
FFZ content. They just find themselves part of it.
Yeah. Just get drawn in.
Okay.
So anyway,
sure.
this is his tweet. He just said, "Just saw the final cut of The Game Awards world premiere we have been working on with the developer for 2.5 years. Truly honoured we are entrusted to share this work with the world." So
It's such a Jeff Keighley tweet, that
it
isn't
is,
it?
yeah.
Well,
But then
building hype. Well, what's wrong with that? It's building hype. Love a little bit of
Yeah, but
mystery.
it's just like, it's building hype, yeah, but it's saying stuff without saying
it's saying
it.
absolutely nothing.
And-
Like,
Of course, yeah.
That's what you're
Plus,
like,
like-
fucking hell, we're watching it now.
Plus, I know this is really unreasonable because everyone does it. When people say, "Oh, I've been working on this for the last 2.5 years," I'm like, "Have you 40 hours a week? Really? You mean?"
Or did you start it 2.5 years
Yeah,
ago?
the
It's
first
like me
email. We
saying
checked
that
the first email, and it was sent 2.5 years ago. So that's when it started, and it's been
it's like me saying it took me 10 years to find all the orbs in Crackdown. It took you 10 years. Wow. It took me the first 6 months, and then I didn't play it for 9.5 years, and then I found the last one. Go on.
So the reason this is a Fantasy Zone thing is it's people online, because there are people online, think it's Breath of the Wild 2, because that was announced 2.5 years ago. But it could be anything, this, couldn't
It
it?
won't be Breath of the Wild 2. Like, his tweet implies something's been worked on for a long time. It's not something we know about, I would assume.
That's what I would have thought. That's why he's saying it's a world premiere, which they've already shown Breath of the Wild. So I don't know why.
I mean, it could
people think it's that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the premiere of new footage, I suppose.
Yeah, but they won't be working on that for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they
I'll be
planned to do 2.5
disappointed if
years
it is
ago.
that.
I don't know.
I'd rather
What do
it's
you want it
something
to
new.
be, James?
Something new, something different. You know, I don't really want it to be that.
Give us something.
Witcher 4. There you go.
I mean, as we all know, CD Projekt Red just been kind of sitting around the last year or so, probably nothing big on.
You asked for something off the top of my head. It was the first thing that came to mind.
Is it?
I like that bit of it.
So hang on, is there any chance this could be a new Kojima thing, given that they're best pals? When did Death Stranding come out? Was it last
probably
year?
is, isn't
Possibly.
it?
They're basically the same person.
It's definitely
Yeah,
going to be Kojima,
it could
isn't it?
be.
It's going to
I
have to
don't
When did
be.
Death Stranding come out? Oh, so
Yeah.
it was 2019.
I mean, Kojima's been doing lots of social posting recently, talking about he's redone scripts and he's shooting a lot of stuff at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's trailer stuff or motion capture. I mean, there's a picture he did the other day saying I've recaptured or reshot some part of a script, and it's got a shot of something, and it's blurred, and then some people saying, oh, is that Norman Reedus again? What's he doing with him? Blah blah blah. I mean, it feels like it could be Kojima, but 2.5 years ago, I mean,
Has he released a remaster of Death Stranding?
Yeah.
That's out, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
And it's,
I mean, the whole MGS remake or MGS remaster is a possibility.
well, surely not, because
Yeah,
if he's best
yeah.
mates with Kodge, surely Kojima just wouldn't let any of his friends have anything to do with any MGS stuff now, given that it's not his
Yeah.
anymore.
That's a good point.
I mean, I don't know the guy.
No, let's hope it's something good. Something really exciting.
You don't? Okay, all right. Well, we don't know, but something's happening with Jeff. All right,
Yeah, the
keep
Game
your
Awards
eyes
are
out.
only, what are they, the 9th? They're not far away now.
I know.
so-
I'm quite looking forward to it. I think
What
it'll be
time
good.
is it on? Is there any
Middle of the night, baby.
possibility for us to stream that, or would that be what time?
I mean,
is
it's
it
a 1 o'clock in the morning job.
on? So no.
On the night Halo comes
And
out.
it's about 8 hours long, isn't it?
I mean, I said I was looking forward to it, but then I just remembered it's just going to be all like just crass adverts and stuff in it the whole time.
Crass
adverts.
adverts.
James, what do you expect? It's an award show with loads of world exclusive trailers. The whole thing is marketing.
I know,
what were you
but it's
expecting?
just like, I don't know, but it's just when they have like the pop-up adverts and stuff like that. It's like, you don't get that at the Oscars.
I was going to say, better than the pop-up adverts. I hope they do the thing where, like, there'll just be like a trailer for some game, and then there'll just be a little ticker at the bottom. It's like, oh, by the way, this game won this award. Cheers.
yeah,
That's my favourite bit.
Yeah, but James, do you watch the Oscars for the awards?
I don't watch the Oscars, but you know,
Exactly. So why are you mentioning that?
It's a comparison. They want the Game Awards.
Don't care about.
Matt, they want the Game Awards to be the Oscars of video games. It's not going to be that where they're flashing up Doritos coupons while it's going on.
Well, no,
James, coupons. I can't speak tonight. It's
James,
wrong.
do they flash up Doritos coupons?
I love a coupon.
No, do they? Have you
They
seen
do.
it? Do you
Yes,
know?
they do. They flash up like offer codes and all
Like
that sort of
QR
stuff.
code,
And
you scan it with your phone before it goes. I
would argue they probably. I mean, we have the video game BAFTAs, which are probably like closer to the Oscars. But this is surely this is like the biggest like games award show of the year in terms of the hype and the trailers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but then did you see the nominations? We didn't talk about it last week, but I was kind of like, what?
I mean, yeah, we have seen
The best game nominations. I was like, where? What? How? I love It Takes Two, but best story, are you having a laugh?
Yeah,
that was the worst part
no
of that
right
game.
to be in there. Absolutely no right.
You know, they're all subjective. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
I much like things like the Super Bowl, which I wish I could stay up to watch all the adverts. We'd actually see the adverts over here. I would like to watch the Game Awards to see all the new trailers and stuff. But
Well, fucking watch it then, Matt.
you know what? I fucking will. Actually, I was thinking the other day. Do you remember, like a few years ago, I said, I'll do a talks over. And obviously, I start 1 in, and I think I've been out in town
Yeah,
drinking.
didn't you turn up drunk?
Well, no, I'm not drunk. Just I'd had a couple of beers, and then I did it with Capone, didn't I? Because Capone's over in Canada.
That's
I came home after a few beers after work, and then did it. I like moved all my PC down in the lounge because I didn't want to wake up Jill like 1 in to talk over the Game Awards. It's absolutely bonkers. But
didn't you fall asleep on it?
no, I didn't. Although, my God, it was quite dull. I could have done, but no, I'm a goddamn professional, David. I didn't.
You were sick on our last
That's
stream.
true.
Look, that was milk related.
It certainly was milk related, right? Should we get to what you've been playing?
Yes.
Yes, please.
James Farley, I want to go with you first because you've played a game that we haven't spoken about yet that some people have been asking us to talk about. So what have you been playing?
I have been playing Guardians of the Galaxy this week. I'm only up to Chapter 6 at the moment, but when I first saw this, the trailer for it did not impress at all. Like I had very little interest in playing this. I like the films, I've watched all of those with the family and everything, and I've always thought they were pretty good. But then it was mostly the sort of the positive buzz that there's been around this because like Player One podcast have been talking about it for weeks now, and
There we go. There we go.
What?
Go on.
No, there it is. I was just wondering, okay, so obviously a lot of people have been talking good stuff about it, sure, but I think, okay, well, I wonder who's been talking about it, and it's Player One podcast. Okay, cool.
What do you mean by that, Matt?
I just what I'm implying, James, is that they've said it's great, and you're like, you know what? Actually, it is.
I mean, if anyone should be throwing around
game.
accusations of being particularly influenced by one particular outlet, Matt.
I was going to say, Matt,
Go on.
There's glass houses.
I don't listen to that podcast.
All I'll say, Matt, it's kind of funny that you threw that. James Farley.
I'm really
find that kind of
confused
funny.
as to why I'm not allowed to say that. Like I listened to
No,
somebody say something was good,
you
and I'm
can say
allowed
what
not to
you want,
buy it. What's wrong with that?
So you want, James? Yeah, that's fine.
Go on, James. Come on.
So
Come
anyway,
on, James.
it's a third person
Come on, boy.
adventure game, and it reminds me the most probably of Fallen Order. It's got
Okay.
that same sort of structure to it. It doesn't follow.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, as in
What the?
the Star
Star
Wars.
Wars?
Yeah, the Star Wars game.
Oh, Fallen Order. Oh, okay, right. So what? It's got like open worldy bits.
Yes, it's kind of like
Okay.
that, and it kind of reminds me of that. It doesn't follow any of the recent films in any way at all. It just tells its own story.
Yeah.
I mean, does any of you know what the Guardians of the Galaxy are?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
who they are?
I've seen the
They
films.
are the protectors of our galaxy, James. Yeah.
Kind of. It's a
Not
group of
our
aliens that go
galaxy.
on missions together. And,
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about the Marvel universe,
Mhm.
right? But from what I gather, see how close I am. The Guardians of the Galaxy is more of a wisecracking sort of parody of superheroes.
Kind of. Yeah. It's
They're like a wacky bunch.
I mean, that
They're
much is
not
clear
than
from
a-
the trailers and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it's
they're
not
not.
like-
I wouldn't
so,
say they're.
yeah.
It's not really wacky. I wouldn't say because they're like the way that they.
There's a talking tree, right?
No, well, yeah, but it only says like one. Like it says three words every time. It's the same 3 words every
What's
time.
it say?
I am Groot. That's it.
Right,
His
okay.
So whatever the
his name-
situation
Not
his
wacky,
name's
but
Groot.
go on.
Yeah.
You're proving it's wacky, but go on.
Right, hang on. So, no, yeah, it is. They are funny. They are funny films, but they are. There is like a bit of genuine heart to them as well. Like I really like Guardians of the Galaxy films. They're like they are certainly funny.
Look,
but
I'm not
like,
shitting on it. I've not watched it, but and the
stop
people
making
that people
fun
I
of
know
my
people that
favourite
love
films
those
in the world, Dave.
I'm not. I haven't even fucking seen it. I'm just going on what I've seen in trailers.
No,
and stuff.
I mean I think
Okay,
I've said
cool.
before, but yeah, if you were ever minded to get into Marvel stuff, I would recommend Guardians of the Galaxy as a way in for you personally. I think you'd enjoy them. But
Yeah,
whatever.
they are very good. I mean, it's just, I mean, the main hook with it is that this group of like sort of misfits, as it were, like working together, they don't get on. Yeah, that's the main hook of it, and the fact that they're kind of they're just
was it a bit
bantering with
relatable,
each other.
James?
Yeah.
Should we change this to the Guardians of the Galaxy podcast?
So I mean, like throughout the game, they're engaging in banter with each other, which sounds awful. Like it sounds like that would be terrible. Like they're just constantly on at each other, like sort of winding each other up, having a go at
I
each
know
other.
you don't like banter.
No,
so...
I hate it, and so, no, they're just constantly going on at each other like all the time. But it's so well written, and unbelievably, I have not found it annoying at all. It's just genuinely funny and incredibly well paced. But it's just constant, sort of like ridiculous sort of observations about each other and everything. I mean, you make choices at key moments as well that impact the way that the team relates to each other. So there's this one part where Rocket, who is this genetically modified raccoon, although he gets really annoyed when you call him a raccoon, you have to get across to the other side where there's like a bridge that's out, and he's somebody who can hack like the controls and get it across. So one of the other characters just picks him up and is like, I could just chuck him over, and he's like shouting, don't do it or whatever, and then you can choose whether you're going to do it or not. I just thought, yeah, why not? He can probably fly through the air quite well, and he did. And then landed and was really angry. And then for like the rest of the game, he's been on at me like about the whole time. The fact that I let him be tossed across like this like chasm. He's not very happy about it. I mean, the combat in it is pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's fun enough. Like all of the characters have special abilities that you can like obviously like level up as you're going through, and they link up together. And it does this thing called the huddle, where once you've sort of maxed out everybody's sort of meters, you press like L1 and R1 if it's on like PlayStation as I'm playing, and they all get together and it like you give them like a motivational speech, and then they just go out and like kick ass, and which is pretty cool. But then also it plays like all the sort of like 80s and it's mostly 80s music that it plays with it, and it just fits so well. It's very cool. It's really good. But I'm just shocked at how polished and fun this is to play. Like if you imagine Fallen Order but with all the rough edges like shaved off so that it's like really, really well polished and funny, and that's what this is. Like it's not in any way revolutionary at all. It just feels very, very fun to play, and you just kind of wish that all games had this level of quality, of like polish. It's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's shaping up to be one of my favourite games that I played this year, and it's one of those games where I can sit here and play through a couple of missions or whatever, and I just want to keep going, like keep playing, like I don't want to stop, because it's just so comfortable to play, and so everything just works like so flawlessly. I'm really shocked by this, like really shocked. As I said, it's one of those games where I think it'd be difficult to nominate this as like a game of the year or whatever, because it's not doing anything like particularly special. It's just that it's so well put together, and it's a shock. I'm really shocked by it, of how good it is.
It sounds like how I felt about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like a comfort thing rather than enjoying every moment.
On the Game of the Year thing, like, Game of the Year doesn't have to be like the most technically advanced or games are necessarily doing things different. If it's a game that you feel like has given you enough joy and stuff.
We'll be the judge of that, Matt. You don't get to decide that.
I'm saying I'll be the judge of that, David. Actually, I think we'll be the judge.
Oh yeah,
we'll be the judge of that. If you think about it, we'll be judging. James, I mean, obviously, I saw loads of people buy this when it's like it has been cheaper over the most recent weeks with Black Friday and stuff, and loads of people were saying, actually, no, this is really good. Do you think that's just because everyone's gone in with really low expectations?
Yeah,
particularly following things like the Avengers, where I was
going to say,
that was games of service and. That was his own
nearly
thing.
bought the Avengers because I thought it was this.
But do you think it's because of that, or is it actually just also genuinely good as well, and therefore like the net result is it's way better than people anticipated?
I think it's a bit of all the above of what you just said. It's like I think expectations for this were very low because of Avengers, and also cheap also certainly helps. But then maybe that is partly why I've just been blown away by it, because this is so good. It's like really excellent. Yeah.
So I remember when this was first revealed.
Is there like grinding and stuff to do? Because when it first came out, I'm sure I heard some people say, well, you've got to go to these like kind of random, essentially platforming bits maybe to get certain aspects, or is that
not really? I mean, you can upgrade.
Stuff?
You can upgrade all the characters by picking up upgrade sort of components or whatever, which you find like dotted around the level or whatever. But it's not like absolutely essential to do that. I mean, the platforming is very sort of like Uncharted style, as in like you're just like hopping from place to place, climbing up rock faces and things like that. But then also you got like jet boots and things like that, which make things a bit easier. I mean, it's also you do have some agency about like where you go as well, like where you choose to. I mean, it's kind of I saw somebody saying it was Mass Effect light, but it's not that far. Like it doesn't go anywhere near that far, because it is still very like on a like a specific script of where it's going to go. But you can make like clear decisions in some of the levels which do affect the story like quite directly, and it changes the outcomes of where you're going to be going and everything. It's yeah. Sorry, I'm just surprised.
I have just bought it.
Brilliant.
Hey, there he is.
Well, I was on the fence only because like I said there's a deal on CD keys. It's the Series S/X version. It's like £32, and I was on the fence anyway, and that's just shoved me right off the fence, James.
Brilliant. I mean, you won't regret it. I mean, it does all this, like all the stuff from the films with like the sort of the flashbacks to when he's a kid. It does all of that as well, and it does it in a good way where it's like it doesn't feel the same as the films, but it still feels that's what I really like about this, is the way that they've really gone their own direction, with it, and taken it quite differently to the
because it's interesting that sort of distinction between this and Avengers, which, from what I played of Avengers, I thought it was, still really well written and stuff. I liked all the characters in it, but it was like all the characters weren't meaningfully distinct from the film versions, and that's why everyone was like, it's just like, a shit copy of the film ones, whereas this sounds like it feels more confidently its own thing.
Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, Drax is still the best thing in this, I'd say. Because everything is just completely deadpan. Yeah. And it's just funny the way he just always calls you Peter Quill, like all the time. Like whatever the situation is, and he calls like Rocket, the Abomination. Like it's just it's pretty good. Yeah.
Right. 2 questions. Firstly, do you need to know the films to enjoy the game?
No.
So it explains a lot of stuff, yeah?
They're literally not totally related, are they? This is, they're sort of different iterations of the same characters, basically. So it's,
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. I was thinking about picking up a game next week. Now, up until this evening, that was going to be Metroid Dread. Where do I go, James?
I'd recommend this over that for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, I would.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy this more, probably. Although I can add another thing to this. If you can wait, you can borrow my copy of this if we manage to come back to the UK.
Well, there's no chance of that. So that might be right. Okay.
Big
because there is that risk that I'm going to hate Dread.
James, can I have a word over here, please?
Go on.
James, right? Dave wants to buy Metro Dread. Obviously, if he buys it and likes it, but
what if he buys it and hates it?
Yeah, that was my worry. Sorry, I'm in here as well. I wasn't invited, but I'm here as well.
David,
it's more of a risk, Matt. It's more of a risk.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it is most. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh yes, are you buying this or no, Dave?
I don't know.
You can get this cheaper. You can get this cheaper, definitely. Like this, you can pick this up quite cheap. It's not very expensive.
You can, but I'm less likely to play it. The reason why I wanted to get Dread is that I can get some Switch time in. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I don't know. I'll have a think.
Yeah, it's interesting about that whole, like, do you have to know the movies? Because I've definitely seen the first one. I may have seen the second one, but it's so long ago, and also my memory is terrible. But I'm sure, so James, you know the movies, so do they make any references to in-jokes, or is it really just totally separate?
It's completely separate. It seems to be completely separate, to that. I mean, even like the costumes, like all the characters wear are different, but you can pick up the ones from the films, actually, as you're playing, and do that, which is, I mean, I changed those because they look better, honestly, the ones that
And I hear like the moments where like the licensed tracks kick in like during combat are
also
feel good and awesome.
Yeah, also excellent.
What you playing on?
PS5.
Does it make use of DualSense stuff?
It does, but not in any way that is amazing. It's just,
Okay.
It
rumbles a bit.
That wouldn't be like a deal breaker, honestly.
How the fuck do you redeem a code for the Xbox on the fucking website?
You just go, log in, and there is like if you go to the Xbox, so there's a redeem code thing. Can we just talk about the dual sense implementation of anything? Like, it's been a year now since the consoles come out. It like when we had Astrobot, it was like, wow, you can feel the glass, you can feel the sand, you can feel all that stuff. We've had maybe a couple of other ones.
I can think of 2 games that have used it. One is Astrobot and the other is Deathloop. They're the only games I can remember.
Deathloop uses it well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I assume Call of Duty is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it feels like you're pulling a trigger rather than...
Yeah, okay, Call of Duty, like last year's Call of Duty release, I was tempted to pick up on PS5 because people said you can really you can feel the difference between the guns and triggers locking and stuff. I wonder if it feels like devs aren't really truly fussed about taking that stuff to the next level, like a Sony first party game.
We've seen some shit implementation of it, like Life is Strange True Colours. We all wanted to play it on PS5 because of the DualSense stuff, and it turns out it was horrendous in that game. They just got it completely wrong, didn't they?
I feel like we've seen some poor examples, like the one you just mentioned. We've seen lots of, it's like kind of Rumble, maybe slightly better, but there's been barely any extremely good examples like Astrobot.
See, that's the thing, isn't it? Because also you think like Ratchet and Clank, like that. I don't remember it being brilliant in Ratchet and Clank or anything. You think that would be the one?
No, it was pretty cool for pulling the triggers and stuff. But as you say, it's not. It hasn't blown anything away, has it?
Maybe we've got to wait until the next generation of stuff come, as in like until the more exclusives that are coming out, like Horizon and things like that. Maybe they'll do more of it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's the problem. Those games don't come out regularly enough to make you go, "Oh shit, DualSense is this massive thing."
Mm-hmm.
It needs third-party developers to use it well as well,
Yeah.
So, David, you always said you thought the Xbox would release a pad that did the same thing. Do you still think that's going to be the case?
I don't see why not. I don't see why they wouldn't. What's the disadvantage of having it?
Well, there's like development time and developers doing something where only a portion of the audience will have it. It's not like it's built. It didn't come with a console day one.
The basic rumble in those pads is better than the basic rumble in the Xbox pads, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, the adaptive trigger stuff is good when it's done well, but that's only done well in Forza. That's it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if PlayStation
not the
developers...
adaptive trigger, what they call it? They call it what does Microsoft call it? Is it feedback triggers or whatever?
God knows.
Because they got rumble in the triggers, haven't they?
They have, yeah. But if Sony developers aren't seemingly really going the extra mile to create really awesome experiences with the DualSense, and they know every single PS5 player has that controller, how many developers are really going to focus on it for a potential Xbox version when, again, only a small proportion of the Xbox user base will have it?
If Microsoft release a pad that does the same thing, that small portion of the audience is then expanded, isn't it?
Oh no, I can see where Matt's coming from with this, because none of the developers ever really did anything. Nintendo didn't do anything with the HD Rumble, did they, on the Switch? No. You never hear anything about that. It's just that happened a bit and then kind of died as well.
No, but you would still argue that haptic feedback is an improvement over the standard motors flying thing about.
Yeah, for sure.
So what would stop them changing to haptic feedback in the Xbox pad? I don't think anything.
I think they will, but I don't think that will happen until there's a next like iteration of the console. I think they'll launch with something like that.
I don't know. They seem to have distanced the connection between the pad and the console, haven't they, Microsoft? Like the is the same as the Xbox One pad, and the Xbox One pads connect to the current consoles.
Yeah.
So I think they're more likely to release an updated version of their pad,
or the Elite, maybe like an Elite version. That they've already done that, and then that will have all the haptic
but that would
stuff.
suck if they said we're putting it in, but it's going to cost as much as an Elite.
I mean, not only could they potentially release a haptic pad that only a small percentage of the audience will have compared to every PS5 DualSense owner, and then, oh no, if it's just for the 150 quid Elite version, it's like, wow, no one's implementing haptic features on an Xbox Elite pad if only like 2% of the audience even have the pad.
Listen, Matt, let me put it this way, right? Tomorrow, you wake up and overnight, Microsoft have announced that they're releasing a haptic feedback version of the Xbox controller, and it's out at the end of the week. It's 60 quid. Are you buying it?
I mean, I probably would.
There we go.
No, but David, if 100%, like if Sony devs aren't doing loads of it with every single owner having it,
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that it's even the basic function of the vibration in the controller is an improvement, then why not add it to the pad? There's no disadvantage of adding it to the pad.
Yeah, so you're talking about basically an improved Rumble rather than going for all the specific
and even if they
features.
go for the bells and whistles or whatever, if it costs them marginally more to do that, then I don't see why they wouldn't do that, because it certainly, in terms of first-person shooter games that I've played on PS5, it's pretty cool to have that feeling of it feeling a little bit more like a gun. Do you know what I mean? Like having that in there. And it was really noticeable going from playing Deathloop for a long time, then going over to Call of Duty on the Xbox. It was like, the guns don't feel quite as cool to shoot. That's a shame.
Yeah,
and no, it's not a game changer. It's not a game changer. But having that stuff on Xbox would be pretty cool as well, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Right, is that it for Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, you recommend it, James? You're enjoying it?
Yeah, I really would recommend it. It's very good. Yeah.
Sean Bell, what have you been playing this week?
Bunch of stuff.
Sean, you don't know wanna. Go on, let's go. Been saying that all week. Go on.
You don't know wanna.
So first off, I've been playing Pikmin Bloom. This is the mobile one.
Right.
This is Niantic's.
I forgot
Pikmin
this came
game.
out.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right. So, I was quite a fan of Pokemon Go for a while, especially, during COVID. It was like a nice way of making sure I got out the fucking house for a walk every so often. And, they made loads of smart changes to how the game worked based on the fact that, a lot of people couldn't necessarily, go anywhere. And, obviously they normally do like big annual events, and that all got shit canned, and they've found other ways of doing that, and it's really interesting. So, and, I like Pikmin, so interested to see what they did with this. It's fundamentally, it's just amassing Pikmin is never going to be as interesting, is it, as like catching Pokemon, because there's about Pokemon, there's about 900 of the fuckers, and then Pikmin, there's like, what, 5 different colours.
Yeah, and they're all wildly different from each other, whereas Pikmin, they're just different colours.
And obviously, and in the games, it's like, oh, well, these ones are, immune to fire, and these ones can go in the water, and da-da-da. None of that comes into play here. Like, you've got all the different colour ones, but that's doesn't really make any difference. I mean, I've started getting the purple fellas who are good at carrying stuff, and that's quite a fun thing that it does. Like, you go for a walk, like you sort of tell it that you're going for a walk, right? You sort of announce that you're going to go out, and it's like, right, cool. And you have these like flower petals that you spread as you go around, which is quite cool, right? Because then you can look at like the map of like, where you live, and then sort of you're looking across at like the town centre or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, there's the route I took, and everyone can see like all the flowers that I've planted along the way, and you can see where other people have done the same thing. And it's like, go on, sorry.
That's scary.
Are you planting these flowers then, Sean? Are you like touching the screen and like
no, literally just as you walk, it just happens automatically.
I was hoping you were like walking along and like swiping up on your phone, like
stop,
throwing them around.
Yeah, no. It's
that sounds horrific to me. So you could just load up this app and then follow someone to their house.
It doesn't work like live like that. Although I did notice that obviously like there's like a big clump of flowers around my house because.
Yeah,
every walk starts and finishes.
You're gonna get. Hello. Yeah, it's the police.
You got any purple ones? I want to.
Can I see your little purple fella? Yeah, no.
Oh, fuck!
I had to lower the tone, didn't I? Well, it's not often I get to do that. It's normally you lot, so thought it'd be fun. No, it's just weird, isn't it?
He said, "Look at my purple one," and when he squeezed it, there was a sausage inside.
Oh my!
That's much
Wow.
worse.
Why?
No, that was the clip that I played on the bonus show. Come
I don't
on.
remember that. Sorry. Was that the one I wasn't
Oh,
on?
yeah. I
Fucking
do.
hell.
I remember it, but
Oh, it might have been the one that you weren't on. Didn't you listen
No,
to it?
I haven't got
You
the feed
absolute
set
not.
up. We've been through this.
Go on then. Well, you should sign up. Become Full Nels member.
Anyway, it starts to get interesting because you you can send your Pikmin out on expeditions, right? So you go for a walk and then you come home and it's like, right, while you were out, these are all the items that your Pikmin spotted. So there's like bits of fruit or whatever dotted around, and then you send them out to go and collect them and bring them back. And then the more they do that, they start like ranking up, and then when they reach a certain rank, they then get like a gift, right? A gift will appear on the map for a specific Pikmin. They go and pick it up, and it's like a funny hat or a flower they can wear or something, or like a sticker they can put on themselves. And initially I was like, oh, this is really cool, because like one sort of picked one up near a park, and it's like a viney sort of flower thing they found, and then someone else found one in a shop, and it was, I can't remember what it was now, but point is, it was like, okay, cool, there's like different types of environments, and depending on where they pick the thing up from, that sort of affects what sort of items they can get. And within half an hour I was just seeing the same ones over and over again. Like, oh right, so I've got like 10 guys that have just got a little sticker on them, and then like another 5 that have just got this one flower or whatever. So yeah, it initially seemed like that was going to be sort of how they sort of keep it varied and interesting, like trying to collect all these different these different gifts that your Pikmin can wear. But then it really quickly starts repeating itself. I mean, maybe that's
Sean.
Go on, sorry.
Can you make it more fun by paying money?
Do you know? I don't think so. No. Like it's got the Pokemon Go thing of like hatching eggs as you walk around, so that's still here, but obviously you're planting seeds, and then you walk 1,000 steps and then pull a seed out of the ground, and hey, you've got another Pikmin. But again, that's never hatching an egg in Pokemon Go is really exciting, because if it was like a fucking 9-kilometer egg, it's like guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but it's more likely to be something really interesting, or like have decent stats or whatever. Whereas here it's like, it's another red Pikmin. I knew it was going to be a red Pikmin because it was a red seed. Whatever. So there's potential there. I'm not sure where they're going to go with it, because all that's happening is I'm just getting more Pikmin, and I don't really know what I'm aiming for, to be honest. The one quite nice thing it does is that, like, every day, it keeps like a little diary of what you get up to in the game, and then also it's like, it says like, what sort of day did you have, and there's like 3 sort of emojis you can pick from, like a sad one, a middle one, and a happy one, and then it like picks, it picks like some of the photographs you took that day, and it's like, which one, do you want to use one of these as like the the sort of representative photograph of the day. And it's quite nice because you end up with this little diary you can look back on, and it's like, here's where you walked on this day, and here's the photographs you took or whatever. But then after a bit you're like, yeah, but I don't need this game to do that. If I really wanted to do that, I just could. It's not really, do you know? So yeah, I don't dislike it. I'm expecting to be bored of it fairly soon, and it's just not clear where it's going to go from here, basically.
So it doesn't feel like there is an end game of sorts.
Yeah, not that not that I'm aware of. Like,
are these supposed to have end games? Things?
Yeah, like,
well, I mean, like Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Pokemon Go is all about getting rare Pokemon and doing raids and stuff and all that, and then there's like big community events. Whereas this, it's I don't know where it's going, basically. So I mean, I'll keep it installed and check in on it occasionally, and you can say, look forward to a big update on Pikmin Bloom in about 2 months, where I go, I deleted it.
Yeah, I was interested in downloading this when it came out in the US and everyone was talking about it, and then it was a few days or a week or 2 until it came out in the UK, and by that time I was like, there's no need, and it feels like there's even less need. If I want to do one of these again, I'll just reinstall Pokemon Go.
That would be my advice, I think. And obviously Pokemon Go went through like so many changes, like especially even in just like the first year. Maybe this will do the same. I don't know. But yeah,
I just don't see the characters as anywhere near as likable. Like, I quite like the one Pikmin game that I played. I didn't come away thinking I fucking love the Pikmins. Like that wasn't my reaction to it. It's a weird character to base this thing on.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, again, there's like funny little touches. Like sometimes you send them out on an expedition if the expedition is near like a point of interest. Whether it's like a statue in a park or whatever. Sometimes when they come back, they'll just be like, "Hey, look, we took this photo," and it's a photograph of the place with Pikmin all prattling around on it. But again, gets old.
You're like, stop fucking around. Get off my phone.
I mean, ultimately, there's never going to be another Pokemon Go. Like that was the perfect storm of a globally recognized game and legions of fans and the first big AR kind of GPS orientated game of that type, built on all the things that Niantic learned with their previous game. And I don't think, even a Harry Potter game came and went and got shut down.
Oh, did it? Did they kill that?
That's a massive IP. Yeah, they killed it only like a month or so ago.
Jesus. Because there was the...
So if that didn't work, I mean, obviously everyone, Niantic included, trying to find the next Pokemon Go. I don't think there was going to be one until maybe another technology, another like new technology comes out that means there's the opportunity for something new to come out. But as it stands, the discount technology, I don't think we're going to see anything as big as Pokemon, because that was just, as I said, the perfect storm.
Yeah, totally. Because even the Minecraft one died as well, didn't it?
Right. Yeah. Minecraft one got taken up and
oh yeah, that went down really quickly, didn't it?
I mean,
it's just strange. Like, why not like release something which is like what they did with like Fire Emblem Heroes? They released something which was reasonably close, to the actual the main game, and people loved it.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, it wasn't. I didn't think it was that great, but I mean, Matt spent what hundreds of pounds on it, but it's
no, it was no more than 150 quid.
but why not do this with Pikmin? Release something which is like real-time strategy kind of thing. You can have all your loot crates and stuff in it. Just, you can still do that, but just something which is maybe fits the the title better.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, they're doing that with Mario Tour, aren't they? The Mario Kart Tour. That's really doing well, isn't it?
I've no idea.
You mean the mobile?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that's doing really well, and I know Harry's been playing it and loving it.
So that did well, and it was. I mean, Dr. Mario did badly because they pulled that in the end, didn't they?
Did they?
No one. Yeah, I don't think anyone played it because it was also horrendously bad with all the microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I don't get any sort of whiff of greed around this. Like, certainly, there's a shop where you can buy items, you can buy, planters to put more seeds in when you're walking around and make yourself more efficient. I've not felt the need to do that yet. Maybe things would have become more interesting more quickly if I had. I don't know. But and it's just like, with Pokemon Go, there's the whole thing of catching Pokemon is like fundamentally quite enjoyable. Like when you learn how to do like the curveball throws and stuff, like that, the actual act of doing that is quite satisfying. There's nothing like that in this. There's no actual action that you do that is like, oh, actually, this feels pretty good and satisfying and fun to do.
It all feels quite passive.
Yeah, which maybe that's intentional, but I just not really.
So
getting it.
Obviously, Pokemon Go, you would kind of go around and you would have to like engage with the phone, engage with the app, and to go to gyms and to, as you said, throw the Pokeballs to catch various Pokemon. Is this more of an app where you basically make sure it's running, but you basically just, walk around, have your usual day, and then come back later and check on what your day has done?
That's really what it feels like in comparison. So you're not really looking at it as you're walking around. It's just, as I say, you tell it you want to start planting flowers, and then you just go about your day, and then you check in later, and it's like, right, here's what happened. It's like, here's all the things your Pikmin found, and then you start, and that's when you're managing like your expeditions and stuff. There was one bit, so I went into the office last week, and like just as I got in the car, and I was like, oh, I'll just open it up, see what's happened. I was like, oh, cool, there's an expedition. Sent my guys out, and then just chucked my phone on the dashboard, and then and just left the game running, like just out of curiosity to see if it had the same, like Pokemon Go starts telling you off for going too fast because it knows you're driving, you're not actually walking around. So I was like, just out of curiosity, I'll see if it still does that. It does, obviously. But I was driving around And these fucking Pikmin that I'd sent out had found like a fucking lemon or something. And they were like chasing after my car as I was driving home. Like I could see them on the map. Like, I'm just driving away from them.
Surely you like slowing down, letting him catch up a little bit, and then just driving
off again. Teasing. Yeah.
Did you do a Yui and then just try and drive straight at him?
Pick them up and then drive home. Yeah. So yeah, let's see where it goes. I don't hate it. It's nothing. It's not grabbing me in the same way as Pogo did. Hey ho. What else? We've been playing Dicey Dungeons. Calm down, James. I know this sounds like James sounds like your sort of thing. I know. So this is by Terry Kavanagh of what was it called? Super Hexagon fame. He's done loads of stuff, but that was his big sort of breakout hit. Whereas this is it is a roguelike, sorry, James, but it's very focused. So there aren't any cards to speak of, but it's very focused on dice.
To speak of,
yeah. Sure. I generally don't like sort of primarily dice-led things, mainly because, and this is completely unfair, I've tried to play Risk back in the day, and I fucking hate it, because I felt like no matter how many good sort of tactical decisions you made, it's like, you rolled a 1, you fuck it, like, forget about it. And I just, they always feel like inherently unfair to me. But everyone told me this was good, and it's on Game Pass. So I finally checked out, because it's been around for a while, I think. It's definitely on PC. There's also a Switch version. I think that's been like £3 in the sale. But yeah, it's on Game Pass. That's how I've been playing it. And yeah, so essentially, you play as a character, you're going through dungeons, getting, encounters, getting into fights, going to shops and buying new pieces of kit and stuff. And there's a whole bunch of characters to play as, and they're all really different and really interesting. But the basic flow of it is, so you get into these fights, turn-based combat, and every turn it's so you might have, say, 2, 3 dice or whatever, so it rolls the dice and it's like, right, here's what you've got like a 2 and a 5 or whatever, and then you have a series of abilities that you can then spend those dice on. And the reason it's cool and the reason it works is not only are there abilities that let you sort of mess around with the values of the dice, so you might have an ability that lets you like knock a dice up by 1, value up by 1. But also there are like, certain abilities that benefit from having lower dice or odd numbered dice or even numbered dice. So you have this series of abilities. You might call them a deck. I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do. But you have this series of abilities that are in this this sort of grid. Then you have to sort of arrange them, and you can only fit like a certain number of them in, but some of them are different sizes, so you have to sort of consider whether it's worth getting one that's bigger if it's more useful, but it's taking up space that perhaps you could have 2 smaller abilities or whatever. But it's really cool because even if, like me, you get annoyed at dice feeling unfair or annoying, you can put together like a set of equipment that kind of covers you in most circumstances, right? You can start sort of trying to figure out a set of abilities so that's like, well, it does matter what I roll, but there are ways I can deal with it, and I know like what dice are, what numbers are useful for what abilities and stuff, and it's fucking great. I absolutely love it. It obviously it's scratching the same itch as like any good card based roguelike, but it feels really fresh and really different and quite simple in terms of mechanics. It's not like if it was a deck builder, you might have a deck with like 20-30 cards in it and you're thinking of like synergies and stuff, whereas this is like you've got a few abilities, maybe like 3 or 4 most of the time. So it's not too much to get your head around, and each run's quite short, and it's just consistently really interesting. And as I say, all the characters are really weird and different. There's one that's a robot, right? And he's essentially like every round, you're essentially like playing blackjack. So he has like I forget what they call it, but it's like he's a computer, and he's like you chuck dice into this computer. Also, you roll a dice several times per turn, right? And you want to get the dice to add up to a certain number. Is it 21? It might be 21. And if you can get it
Well,
exactly
if it's
right,
blackjack, then it's 21, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you get the number exactly right, there's like all sorts of cool bonus effects. So you want to get it as high as possible, but if you go over, you like it completely fucks your turn. So it's like every turn you sort of like, as I say, you sort of initially sort of playing this game of blackjack and trying to get the most out of it, but without breaking that limit, and then figuring out how you can use that every turn, and just and that's just like one of the extra characters. There's like 6 of them, I think, and they all have their own weird mechanics. The music's amazing. It's by Chipzel, and so it's like, chiptune stuff, but with loads of brass and like an electric bass, and it's cool as fuck. It's like a really good soundtrack, and it's been a really nice one to play via xCloud as well, because obviously it's just turn-based, so it's not like an action game. So I've been playing shitloads of it on the phone as well.
Why does this sound appealing to me?
I had a feeling. I was going to say, like, if you were ever going to enjoy one of these, I'd give it a go, man. It's really good.
It does sound appealing. I don't know why. Maybe
honestly, give it a try. It costs you nothing, mate. It's free.
When did it come out?
Did it? I think it came out. Was it early this year? As I say, it's not new. It's been around a little while, but only just come to Game Pass. So
okay,
yeah, I really love it.
Well, that sounds interesting.
As I say, just with a bit of careful thought, it allows you to sort of impose some fairness on like a random system. It's cool. I really like it.
Cool.
The last one I've been playing is Next Space Rebels, which also appeared on Game Pass. This is the one. It was in one of the Microsoft presentations, I think. So this is the one where you are someone who's running a YouTube channel where you are building rockets at home and then doing videos of them and like running a YouTube channel. And it's fascinating because it's kind of like, obviously, like, I guess none of you played like Kerbal Space Program.
No, but I watched a lot of it on Twitch and
I watched a lot of it. Yeah, I never played myself.
Like that was, although it's like it's like funny little characters and stuff, was actually like a really sophisticated like physics simulation. You had to like really know what you were doing towards the end. This is a lot simpler, but it really works as a result. So like you're only ever building on like a 2D plane, right? You're sort of grabbing like bits of equipment and sort of dragging them onto like a blueprint, and then it kind of sketches them out. And it doesn't really bother you about sort of like as long as things are like joined together, it doesn't care how, right? It's like, you fucking weld it or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like you can just let things overlap and stick to each other and stuff, and it's not a problem. But you do have to consider, like weight and stuff, and like the amount of thrust and where you put in thrusters and stuff. And then as you get further in, you start using like proper like jet engines and fuel systems and stuff, and you have to kind of hook them up. But again, it's just a case of like drawing a line between them, right? So it makes that sort of like, it feels kind of technical, but you're just instantly into it, right? You just get it straight away, and it's like, yeah, you just fucking build something that looks like a rocket, and then you get to go and film a video of you shooting it into the sky. And sometimes it doesn't work, and that's fine. You just go back, build it again. Like it's really, really easy and quick to sort of iterate on your designs and change things up and try new things. But this is all set against, as I say, this YouTube stuff, and it's interesting because you are like, it's not a management sim, but you are sort of making these decisions about how your channel is run, right? So you start putting videos up where you're like sending rockets up, and then like someone contacts you and they're like, "Oh, can you? I'd like, this is my sister's like baby doll toy. I'm going to send it to you. Can you build a rocket that's got this on it? It'll be really funny." And so you do it. And that like comes up as like a challenge for you to do. You build a rocket with this baby on it, send it up, and then they like message you like, "Oh, it was really cool. Like, here's something else." And then like his sister messages you as well, saying like, "I just saw your video. That was really mean. Like, you're horrible. I hate you." And then you get this choice, and then the first kid's like, "Oh, I've got like more of a toys I can send you. Like, it'll do really well for the channel. Like, you can keep just like sending her toys into the sky." And yeah, and you get a choice as to whether or not you carry on doing that. But then there's other things, like a guy who like makes his own illegal fireworks. It's just like, "Mate, do you want me to send you some fireworks, and we can like have competitions with them who can like send them the highest and stuff." and then you get approached about like sponsorships and stuff, and again, it's same as the rocket building stuff. It's like just enough that you kind of feel like you're doing the thing without really doing the thing. And it's really nicely done. And then it's sort of, I don't know how much it gets into this, but it sort of, this video gets uploaded on this other channel where it's this guy basically ranting about how, the genuine potential real world issue of, billionaires getting into space first and just being like, well, no one owns anything out here, so fuck it, let's go. Let's like, with potentially disastrous consequences. And this guy's like, no, fuck it. Like, hobbyists can make rockets and send them into space. Like this is us claiming like some dominion over, the space above Earth. And I don't know how far it digs into that stuff yet. I'm only maybe sort of 4 or 5 hours in. But it looks like that's the sort of the big sort of overarching plot with all these sort of other little subplots within it. And it's just fucking interesting. Like, it's fun doing some of the social stuff and then building rockets and then back to the social stuff, getting more challenges, getting more bits of kit to build stuff with. Again, there's like the whole thing with like junk, right? There's like a whole community that build rockets out of junk. And then someone messages you like, if I send you a bike, will you make a rocket with it? And it's like, yeah, all right, why not? And then, and you get challenges that are very much like get a rocket over a certain height, which are, relatively straightforward. But then
that's surely what you go for, yeah.
Yeah, but then in amongst that, there's all these ones like, well, yeah, make a rocket that is made of a bike, make a rocket that uses toilet rolls, make a, all these other sort of little challenges you can try and tick off. And it's, as I say, it's just like how quickly you just rattle through stuff, and it all just feels really sort of pacey. And nowhere near as technical as you would imagine, but still enough that you feel like you're sort of making clever decisions and working things out, and just, it's great. I love it.
And this is on Game Pass, is it?
This is on Game Pass, yeah. Excellent. Well worth a look, I would say. That
sounds all right, yeah.
That does sound all right. God, I've got too many games to play. Stop it.
This is it, man. It's been fucking wild because obviously what I talked about 4 different games last week. I mean, on top of all this, I'm still playing Forza. And I have done a bit more Halo. A couple of mates have bought Meta Quests this week, so I've been playing a load of Walkabout mini golf, which is still fucking brilliant. It's been wild.
Wild. Looking at the games Matt and I have been playing, I've literally just been hammering Forza and Halo this week. I mean, Halo's taken over pretty much every evening. I think I've played it every evening since we recorded our last podcast.
Yeah. I've played it a bit now.
I do not regret it.
The only evening we haven't played is tonight.
That's right. And I'm furious that we're not playing it tonight.
I'm livid. I wonder if we can squeeze one in after the pod.
Very possible. I mean, I'm loving it so much, Matt.
Yeah, same here.
Like every evening, there's been at least one. I think we had one evening where we got hammered constantly, and that was annoying. That might have been Friday night, but then the next night we were doing the hammering. You know what I mean? So it just feels so fun to play. I don't know how long it's going to last, because there has been all that stuff about the progression system being shit, and I get that.
Yeah.
I was writing it off last week saying. It just means you don't buy it because it's not very good. But I'm totally forgetting the fact that some people just did buy it, because they wanted that and they've got it and it's shit.
Yeah, I bought it and I'm still kind of doing it. It's just in no way as rewarding as other battle passes I've done. It's just you're doing it, and all the more battle passes are to a certain extent a bit of busy work and a bit of a grind, but there's often things you want to earn, or like the distance between wins is much shorter. So maybe I'm doing lots of stuff I wouldn't ordinarily be doing, or using weapons I don't ordinarily like, or playing game modes I wouldn't ordinarily be playing, but I'm getting a short little burst of satisfaction by earning this skin or doing this or doing that. But this just it's a bit more laborious. I'm still doing it, like I said, and obviously it's still early days, and they say this is a focus and they're going to work on it. Obviously it will get better, but as we covered extensively last week, it's still kind of the weakest part of the game by far.
But as we were saying last week, weren't we? Like, if there's one thing it's okay to get, kind of okay to get wrong, it's that stuff. Like the fact that the game's fundamentally enjoyable. It's like, well, okay, you can work out the progression shit later. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, but as I said, that kind of undermines the people that have gone in with the trust of thinking, hey, I love Halo. I'm happy to pay for the battle pass to keep me going.
Yeah,
they've paid their money, and what they've got is not up to expectations.
They'll be able to tweak that, though, won't they? Like, it will improve, presumably.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, and that they've said as much. I mean, actually, like this week or in the last few days, I think they announced last week. Actually, it's been a massive push to get the game out there multiplayer wise. So I think lots of people that had like times off work and whatnot, and then other people said this week, hey, we're back to work this week. This is our focus. Blah blah blah. So obviously it will get better. Obviously it will improve.
I played it on Friday night last week because I haven't really touched this that much because obviously I'm really not very good at these anymore. But I was very impressed actually particularly by the matchmaking because we were a team of like 4 players who were not great at it either, and we were getting beaten, but it wasn't like we were getting beaten just like hammered into the ground beaten. Do you know what I mean? It was like it was still competitive and still enjoyable. I was impressed that the matchmaking seemed to work so well.
Matchmaking does seem to be really good actually. Yeah. I find it that I'm winning a hell of a lot of games when I'm playing solo because I'm not so good at the game. Whereas when I'm playing with my mates, especially some of them are just fucking brilliant at it, and I'm always sort of lower down in the leagues or whatever. But it doesn't really matter because I still get like the odd skewer shot from one side of the map to the other, and all that sort of stuff. It still makes you feel like a badass here and there.
I was just going to say that the one thing that's helped me quite a bit, as I say, I've only played it a couple of times this week, but that mode they've added where you just spawn with different kit every time.
Yeah, we played that one. I enjoyed that one. It was good.
Really, really helpful because that was the one thing that was really screwing with me was like, I felt like I was so rarely finding any different weapons. Then when I did, I was just like, oh, fuck, what's this? What does it do? And then I'm dead. Whereas this has just allowed me to just experiment and mess around with them and
100%.
sort of figure out what they're good at.
So that's why we've been playing it, to get used to the other weapons.
It's a great mode. I mean, there is also like the gun range. You can trial his weapons. It's just...
was that? God, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's a gun range to trial the weapons. But there's like, I guess, mini games and stuff. So there's the opportunity to do that. But no, I haven't done that either. And this is the first mode. I'm like, oh no, I get to experience all these amazing weapons and get to learn them rather than try and do it in like a big team battle mode where I'm getting destroyed instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you're dropping it because it looks like a special weapon. You're dropping your current weapon and then going, oh no, this is shit. I don't want this. Like to just walk past it and go, don't like that one. That's been help. But also I've been still playing Forza, still loving it.
Just before you get onto Forza, I mean, you're saying there, David, about you're not sure how long it's going to last. Well, I mean, in a week's time we'll have the campaign. So actually, I feel like in a week's time, I mean, I'm still loving it. I'm sure I'll be loving it in a week's time, but that feels like the perfect time to stop playing multiplayer, have a break, go through campaign, and then come back.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking specifically about the multiplayer. I'm not sure how long I'm going to last just doing these. Like, what are they going to introduce to keep me interested? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like new maps and whatnot, potentially.
New maps, new game modes, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure they will come.
Forge is long way off. So we'll see. Still playing Forza. Amazing moment. If you don't follow me on Twitter, an amazing moment happened before I went to work. I think it was Thursday last week or Friday, where there's been a running joke in our house where I constantly get cars in wheel spins and Harry constantly gets like trousers. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And he did a wheel spin and got a 15 million credit car in a fucking wheel spin. It was unbelievable. And do you know what blew my mind even more? Like, he's obsessed with going through the cars, finding which ones are the best ones or what. So I didn't know. He just went, oh my God, it's a McLaren F1. And I went, right. That's what it says on there. He said, that's a 15 million credit card, Dad. I went, no, it's not. Don't be stupid. I'm busy saving up for a 2.4 million Bugatti Chiron, right? So I'm going, there's not going to be cars much more expensive than that one. He said, Dad, it's a 15 million credit car. I went, there's no way it's just giving you. And then I Googled it and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. Yep. Yep. You've got this insanely rare car in
Amazing.
a fucking wheel spin. Like, not even a super wheel spin, just like a normal one. I was like, yeah, he was absolutely made up. And
Amazing.
do you know, this is so nice. So I said to him, have you driven that car about? And he went, yeah. And I went, is it not very good? Have you been doing races in it? He went, no. And I went, why not? He went, it's just too precious to drive in races. I was like, okay. I didn't want to have to go. It just resets all the damage the moment
You just
you
get
want
doubles
it to.
of it. Then it doesn't matter. You take it out, get it scratched.
Hey, you saving for Sunday best. I like that.
I think that's what it is. For his little drive around the countryside on a Sunday afternoon. Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, good game. Right.
Very.
Should we get on to questions?
If you want to send us a question, visit tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Choco Crisp says, James, what has been the biggest cultural shock or interesting observation you've noted living in Germany compared to the UK?
Nothing being open on a Sunday is irritating.
Oh, is that a thing? Is that a
really?
German thing as well?
Yeah, wow,
I remember
nothing at
that.
all.
I remember finding that out when I was staying in Barcelona and needed some toilet paper on a Sunday.
It's a pain. It's a
That was
real
good.
pain.
Great time.
It also randomly, like where I live, just Saturday afternoons, everything being shut as well. And you're just like,
Really?
does no one want to make money here? It's really a bit irritating. Yeah.
No, mate, that doesn't work with bloody. Everyone's at work surely Monday to Friday.
Exactly.
So
This is what you're thinking, aren't
how's
you?
it-
And it's
what's
like,
the point?
it's a bit annoying.
my dad, who we all know has got controversial opinions.
Yeah.
One of his opinions is that he's furious that shops are open on a Sunday because traditionally they weren't. And I'm
Wow.
like, Dad, how many times have you had to pop out on a Sunday to get some milk or something? Why would you complain about that? Like,
Yeah.
what? I mean, come on. If there's an argument to be made, it's, well, it gives these big corporations the opportunity to make their staff work on a fucking Sunday, right? Just, to try and get as much money as humanly possible. Go down that route. Don't go down to the, traditions are ruined. Do you know what I mean?
But even then, it's like anyone who's ever worked in, hospitality or leisure or retail just fucking dreads weekends. So it's
true.
It's like, most people have got the weekend off. And look what happens. They all want to go out and do shit, which involves other people having to work.
Yeah.
I used to work Sundays at the co-op. It was rubbish. Yeah.
Not good.
I used to work Sundays at Sainsbury's. My first job. That wasn't my first job. My first job was auto track. It's not important. Right. Let's move on.
Lee Davies says, something terrible happened. I started Metroid Dread, and after an hour or so, I realised that I was on my daughter's profile. Now, I don't know if I should start again on my own profile or not. There's no real reason for me to start it again, as there's no trophies on Switch, but the completionist in me wants to play it all on my own profile. What should I do?
Start it again. Absolutely start it again.
definitely.
No,
Start saying an hour.
absolutely don't start it again. Who gives a shit? Just
Well, 'cause
finish
by
the
the
game.
time-
He gives a
Enjoy it.
shit. He just said.
If he thinks he's gonna give a shit, then by the end of that game, you won't even care that you had to redo the first hour. That's
yeah,
my-
in fact,
That's
you'll be
true.
loving it.
yeah.
That is
So there
true.
you go. Do it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ben
Start
Simon.
again.
I mean, if
Sell
it
it,
had been...
get Guardians of the Galaxy, apparently.
Yeah. I want to go play that, so I'm just going to rattle through these questions. Ben Syme says, I'd just like you to know that I've had, so far, 10 eggs in a row which have had double yolks.
Oh my
What's
God,
straight-
have you seen him on Twitter? He's been
Yes, he's
banging
been-
on about it.
I
It's
don't
like-
blame him. It's incredible.
Is
Yeah. And he says, what?
Okay.
It says, what strange food thing have you witnessed? All one colour Smartie? Big crisp? I don't know.
I mean, I've had the Kit Kat. You know, the Kit Kats where it's like, there's no wafer. It's just all pure chocolate,
Really?
Oh, I've had that. Yep, I've had
But
that.
everyone's had that at some point.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've had anything like this, I'm really struggling.
No,
I can't
you
think of
ever
any.
had proper corn sweet and salted popcorn?
Yeah.
Sometimes you pick up one of the popcorns and you pop it in your mouth and it's just a big clump of flavour. Like it's like a big sweet. It's like
Just
sugar.
like the syrup
joined together.
It's
Yeah,
the best
you're
when that
like, that's not a popcorn. yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
good.
I
when
did.
that happens.
I mean, this doesn't count because this is the whole point of them. But have you ever seen, Jelly Belly, the sort of overpriced jelly beans? Because they're gourmet, aren't they?
Yeah.
But have you ever seen belly flops?
No.
So if you get down to your local home bargains, they sell belly
Oh, here
flops.
we go.
So
Well,
basically
these are the
these
ones that go wrong.
yeah, they miss shapes.
Right,
And-
okay.
And about 3 or 4 in every packet, you'll get 2 that have fused together and they look like a little bum. So there you go. That's mine. But as I say, that's not really a rare occurrence because that's entirely the point of.
Do you remember Nerds? Oh no, we're not doing old sweets. Right, Matt.
I mean, I'm sure this has happened, but I don't particularly remember it. That I got a big crisp once. I mean, if I got
Big
if I got
crisp.
10 double yokers in a row, that's like, okay, you should probably put lottery numbers on or something.
No,
sounds like
the
quite a low
opposite. You've
percentage.
used up all your luck for your entire life now. That's all gone.
Well, I mean, if I had 10 in a row, it's like, hang on, this is a special day. But also, there's a lot of eggs to eat in a row.
It's true.
I remember when I was in primary school, my mum, if we had a curry the night before, she'd put a poppadom in my packed lunch, right?
Nice.
Yeah,
And it
makes sense.
it was so
soggy,
like
right?
it was completely unknown back then. Yeah, I mean it was a bit chewy, but
Oh,
it
was
was
it?
completely not because I remember getting into trouble with the dinner lady because you weren't allowed crisps in your packed lunch. What? Right?
Actually, it's
one
lentil
massive
based.
one.
It's lentil
They go-
based, not potato. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's a crisp. And I went, no, it's a poppadom. What's a poppadom? It's a crisp. I said, look at the size of it, right? And I remember everyone just going, what the fuck are you eating? What is that? It's a poppadom.
Different time, wasn't it? Different
It
time.
was.
You should have
It
said,
was.
yeah, I basically, my mum gave me, it's a massive bag. I just took one of them out of the bag. I think your mum's a giant.
Yeah, you know you're all eating Walkers. Well, I got a packet of Walker.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Walker crisp.
Yeah, man, that was even when they was like chewy the next day. I still enjoyed them.
No, brilliant.
Poppadoms are the business.
I'd
I'd
love one of those.
Fucking
Yeah, man.
business.
Yeah, bit of mango
I'd love
chutters.
one of those.
Beautiful.
I'd love
Is
a
that what you
poppadom.
just
I haven't
said,
had one
Jeff?
for ages, and I mean, it's one of the reasons I want to come back to
Go
the
and
UK.
buy one then.
It's like, because
Is it not a thing?
there's no Indian restaurants here. Like, there's like
Is there not?
around where we live, there's
There's
none.
no Indian food over
No,
there.
it's
No,
not a
Fucking
thing.
hell.
man.
Nothing's open on Sunday. You've got no curtains.
There's no Indian food.
What's the
I mean,
point?
in
Germany sounds shit.
in the city, there's like a couple of them, but close to where I live, there's none.
Okay.
It's just kebabs only.
Okay, so people trying
right.
to track down James, cross out
Yeah.
the cities.
It goes out the cities anywhere with an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
Right,
Those
next
where shops
question.
are shut on a Saturday.
Next question comes from Chris. He says, whenever the topic of workplace harassment / equality comes up, Dave always goes to great pains to say that none of you work in the games industry. Could he just quickly ask Matt live on the podcast what Matt does for a living?
Matt, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, I work in the games industry. I think about that a lot when you say that, but I just think...
marketing.
Well, because I've always noticed this. And I'm like, well, Matt's not saying anything. It's not my place to...
No, because every time Dave says that, I'm going to say, well, I work in the games industry.
Well, is it the games marketing?
Yes.
Is it
No,
count?
it's a games company, David.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the marketing department.
Yeah, but in
Does
the
it count?
industry.
Yeah. Do you
A
think?
game studio in the industry.
To be fair, in my defence, when I'm talking about those things, those stories, I'm talking about specifically the companies we're talking about rather than the games
Well,
industry
a lot of
as a
times we
whole.
say, yeah, none of us work in the games industry. I'll just say nothing.
Well, I stand by it.
Okay. Big Shimmery War says the recent talk about the Lego stuff in The Last Horizon reminded me of something I've wondered for a while. Given how popular Lego games are, why has there not been a new Lego Racers or similar? The originals were nothing notable or memorable, but imagine the build-your-own kart stuff done properly with it having an effect on how the kart handles, /speed, /acceleration, /abilities, etc., and different themed sets of pieces to build from and combine. Even a Lego equivalent of Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. Either seem like they'd be an obvious fit for the license. Surely? ? Yes, that's a fucking good
funny,
idea.
isn't it? Because, like, the Lego have realised now, I mean, they have for a little while, that actually their audience isn't just kids. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I think they've known that for a while, haven't they? 'Cause, like, you fucking £500 Death Star sets and everything.
But I think the games themselves are still very much aimed at just kids.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they realise that some people still find Lego cool, I guess.
It's weird because, it's kind of like some people went off Lego because it became less about creativity and more about like, here is a set that you buy and you build it exactly as we say, and then there you go, you built a toy. And then Minecraft came along and was kind of like, oh yeah, it's about complete, building stuff out of blocks and it's complete freedom, and oh look, people are creating loads of weird, amazing stuff with it. And then Lego Worlds happened. Did you ever play that?
I remember that, yeah.
Yes, I very briefly, because it was
exactly.
Wasn't it like a hub game where there was loads of other bits that were around
it wasn't very good. Was it?
That's the thing. It's like on paper, it's exactly what you would think we would want from a Lego game in terms of like total freedom. It's just completely mad. But yeah, you mess around with it for half an hour and you're just like, I don't really see where this is going.
Asher was trying to buy it, because he was trying to buy it, and I looked up all the reviews, and I was just like, just stick with Minecraft, because this is not great.
Pretty much. So yeah, and now it's kind of like, in terms of games, in terms of Lego games, can we have the slightly more restricted but a bit creative stuff? And yeah, like I think this pitch for Lego Racers is spot on.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, get it made. Who sent that in?
Big Shimmery Wall. Go on it, mate.
Well, get it made, Big Shimmery Wall. Get it going.
Do you think it's that bloody easy?
Sitting here writing to us. Sort it out.
Wasting your time. Maria Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS Cowabunga dudes, having just watched White Men Can't Jump for the first time, I have a newfound appreciation for the physical prowess of characters in platformers. It leads me to ask, which video game character do you think has the greatest lower body strength based on their jump? Please pick someone other than Jumpman on the C64 to avoid the obvious answer. Keep up the stellar weekly output."
Luigi.
Fuck, I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, I was going to say Luigi. Yeah, to be.
Oh God, yeah.
Or the Crackdown dude.
The Crackdown.
Yeah, but he's using performance-enhancing
Mr.
drugs.
Crackdown.
Luigi's not.
Yeah, but there's nothing here that says you can't.
Yeah, that's not against the rules.
And also, Luigi's using those mushrooms as well, isn't he?
Yeah, do you reckon those mushrooms are drugs then, James, dear? What a unique sideways look at the video game industry.
What about Pac-Man, eh? What's going on there?
Pills to the music.
Going around his nose with pills. Can I have, what about Master Chief without the armour on? I reckon
because he could jump with the armour on.
Exactly, take the armour off and be like, wow, straight into
Wouldn't
space.
you just like take the shoulder pads off, remove the helmet, and then tell him to jump so he just pops out of it in his little undies?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Just jumps directly out
like
of the
squeezing
suit.
a banana out of the skin. That's my answer.
Yeah, it's a good shout. It is a good shout.
Anyone else?
James, all you've got to do is think of a video game character that can jump high.
I said Luigi at the beginning, but you got it.
Oh, that's
No,
true.
I said Luigi.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, I said Luigi. Matt,
I said
Murray.
Luigi. Barrett from Final Fantasy VII is a powerful man. I'm gonna say he could probably jump really high.
Doesn't jump though, does he?
Well,
No,
we
not
don't
I'm
see
aware
him
of.
jump, but that's not to say he couldn't. He's massive.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. Here are an
Doesn't, but
example of a
could.
bunch of characters that jump high. Matt, what do you think? Well, he doesn't jump.
No.
But
The
that one
question
looks like he.
The question is, which video game character do you think has the greatest lower body strength based on their jump? I think he's got a lot of lower body strength. Therefore, I'm going to go with Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. All right.
Okay.
Right, Salazar Utations, known to his friends as Sal, I assume. The Patreon producer with a 4-month-long birthday reminded me that back when I was at school, birthday beats were a thing. This came down to whenever it was your birthday, people would punch you in the arm for the amount of years old you were turning. For example, if you
There's a
turned
lot
16...
of that. There was also pinch punch first a month.
Yeah,
and
there's
no
lots
return.
of-
We had none of this. I went to a nice school,
You never
apparently.
had pinch punch first a
Well,
month.
you
no
must have
return.
that one, Sean.
And then a
Chinny
punch and a kick
No, I mean,
for being
I've
so
heard of
quick.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Have you heard of it though, Sean? Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah. Just wasn't
No,
a
no,
thing
no.
at our
Jimmy
school.
Hill, you didn't have that in your, in your school. You had it in your school, surely. Pinch punch, first a month, no returns.
Nope.
Punch and a
Not
kick.
that I'm aware of.
What was
Maybe
annoying
just
is that you couldn't return it.
Maybe
That
I
was
just
the
moved in the
worst
wrong
bit.
circles. I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
Anyway.
was there ever an occasion where you could return it? The answer is no.
No, because they said no returns.
Yeah,
at
but you
all.
could punch and
So
kick.
when you want to go, you've just pinched and punched me because it's the first a month, and I want to do it back to you, but you've said no returns.
No,
Returns,
no,
yeah,
but
so
no,
it's
it's
just
better
impossible.
because you could punch and kick, and that's better than a pinch and a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you work that into a little catchy
You do. You say a
phrase.
punch and a kick for being so quick.
For being so quick.
Yeah.
Oh, you do that, don't you?
You
Fucking
do.
hell.
Yeah. James said that. That's what you do. So
All
it's
of those shit. I could
better
have
to be on
punched
the
and kicked
receiving end
people.
because you can do a punch and a kick, and you can literally
Yeah.
knock
And
And you can
someone
say
out.
no
quick.
returns
Ah.
on that as well.
Yeah.
You can't say no returns on that. Oh shit.
So no returns
Did
anything
you
you
have-
want these days.
Did you have Jinx?
Yeah.
Yes. Great HBO series.
No, I'm asking Sean specifically.
Oh, what? Hello, sorry, what?
Did you have Jinx?
Oh, yeah.
So
I
every
can't
time
remember what the consequences were. You had to be quiet
punching,
until...
obviously.
Yeah, punching
right, no,
in the
no,
head,
no.
Sean.
No, for us...
no, not
someone...
the head, Matt. Never the head.
Well, you didn't go off Bognor Regis, Dave. It was very different back then.
No, yeah. So if you said Jinx, someone had to say your name 3 times, or if you spoke,
Oh, right,
someone would
okay.
punch you.
Oh, right. No. So the thing with us is it's between when two people say the same thing, someone shouts Jinx, and then
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you say
yeah,
Jinx, and then the person that says it second has to stay quiet until
Yes.
someone says their name 3
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
I mean,
Right,
that's still
yeah,
happening
there's no-
these days.
no
Like
punching
Elodie says that happens in her school. So
It's a bit embarrassing because apparently they don't abide by those laws in my office. So I was a bit embarrassed,
What?
a couple of weeks into working at this place, and I just went Jinx, and then they went what, and I punched them. They were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I punched them again, and they said, "It's not first of the month," and I said, "I know it's Jinx," and then punched them again, and then I got a written warning for that one.
I bet.
Sorry, God.
she said no
goes
returns,
on.
David.
Says for some reason, kids in my year decided it was my friend Roger's birthday every day and gave out daily beatings to a guy they figured out would have been over 1,000 years old by the end of sixth form. Were there any weird things that your schools did that seemed normal at the time but are really weird looking back? I mean, I think we've answered.
I've got one.
No, that was all standard. That wasn't weird. What are you talking
Weird
about?
to me.
Right,
sorry,
so
Matt.
Things
I've got one, right? Did this happen in your school? Did your schools... I think I'm not sure if I mentioned it on the podcast already, but did your schools go through a phase where people would have their jacket on quite loosely and shake their arms, and the static electricity generated from their things, and then they would basically touch someone's earlobe and you get electric shocks?
Yeah, we did that.
No, we never
happen?
did that.
You never did
No.
that? Yeah, that was massive in our school. Everyone's basically in taking their jackets off and then like, fucking hell, you got my earlobe.
We did a thing where you had to breathe in and out as like to full breath in, full breath out, full breath in, full breath out. I think it was 15 times, and then you held your breath for as long as you could, and then wrapped your arms around your chest and held your breath for as long as you can and push in with your arms, and you would just be so close to just passing out.
Are we
We
allowed to
did
do
that
that
in
on a stream?
science.
No.
I
don't think
wouldn't
so.
do it now. I really wouldn't do it now. I can't believe we did it back then. We got told off for it.
It's silly, isn't it?
What was the other thing? Oh, the word wounce. I think that was very much just in the school that I was at, though. The word wounce. It's so.
No, I mean,
if you saw
I think we use the word wounce.
Did you? Or was that?
I
You
only
used that at
know
school?
it. I only know it from, I think, Dave, your Xbox Live profile.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
I know
that's
it from.
probably that because it just says wounce on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Does it? Does it still say it now?
I don't know. I'll have to check. But yeah, if someone tripped over or something, someone would go wounce. Or I asked such and such out. She said no, wounce. That was it. That was our word. Everyone used to just say wounce to each other.
I mean, the
all
thing we
time.
did was literally the sound I still do now. Is like, I mean, that had that started in school.
Yeah,
and I'm still
we had
doing
that, but that was like a shit joke thing. If someone said a shit joke, it'd be. It'd just be. It would be like that. But the wounce thing was very specific. You walking down the road and someone opens up an umbrella and it flaps the other way. You just go wounce. So stupid. Kids are so stupid. Like it's so dumb.
I've talked about this before, but it was a thing that was on the bonus show. It was about 2 years ago. The ski trip thing. I don't know if any of you remember. So basically, this is why I detest rich people. I've heard the story. So every year, our school would have they would organise a ski trip that was, I'm pretty sure it was during term time. And it was just, obviously completely opt-in, and they'd go to some fucking chalet in France or whatever with a load of the teachers and stuff. And they'd all come back and be like, Mr. Shanks, let us have some wine or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then there would be an assembly where everyone had to gather and look through the photographs from that year's skiing trip.
Wow.
Sounds brilliant.
Which, I mean, I'm not going to say that seemed normal at the time because it used to fucking piss me right off. But it was just the done thing. Like, yeah, we're going to assembly, it's the ski trip one. And we just had to look at what all amazing time, what an amazing time all the rich kids had with the teachers while we were at school, while they were away. Fucking unbelievable.
Man, we could do a whole podcast on school memory. We've been teasing it on the bonus show for ages, but we could genuinely feeling the nerves of being in charge of swapping out those like see-through bits of paper with the song lyrics on that projector thing.
Overhead projector.
Yeah, the
overhead projectors.
Projector,
when this like stuff comes out, it's like, oh, kids don't know what a floppy disk is. Show them a fucking overhead projector. Jesus Christ.
It's the OHP. You have to do it on
OHP, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, OHP, yeah.
I didn't put it upside. I forgot it has to be upside down. Fuck. Right. Kurt Lewin says, after seeing the excellent video of the guy singing the Halo theme to his date following last week's show, after Dave mentioned it, if you had to choose one song or theme from a game to sing or hum to your current partner on your first meeting with them, what would it be? And if you had done so, do you think you would have got a second date?
Easy for me. Tribes by the Motley Crue.
Oh my goodness.
Tribes. Tribes. Just doing that. That'd be good. Or the Paul McCartney Destiny one.
That's God, yeah. I mean, it wasn't out then, so you should just think you were a visionary.
Yeah.
It's like Good Night, Sweetheart.
Yeah. What was that platformer that had that really bad music recently? That you played it, Dave, and then you...
Oh, no, it wasn't a platformer. It was a driving game, wasn't it? That went, nothing's gonna stop me now, baby. No one's gonna hold me down. Ooh, baby.
I'm going for that.
It's so bad. I've got to try and find it. Let me try and find it.
Can you find it, please? Because I want to hear that again, because it was horrendous.
I'll probably go for the character select screen from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And if you know it, I'm going to take you for a ride. Just kind of sings that over and over again. Because that'd be me and my Ferrari going in. You hop in. Didn't even drive it at the time.
Matt, you're going to go with Daytona.
Yes, holy shit, yes. Just do the full fucking...
I mean, yes. I mean,
just go away.
More recently I was going to say Outer Wilds, but that's more of a guitar thing.
Yeah, you'd play
this
it.
This is it. Ready?
Second date.
Okay, go on.
You ready?
This isn't going to work.
This is it.
Oh, shit.
It's worse than I remember.
Here we go. It's the key change. Ready?
Yeah.
Here it comes.
It's fucking anxiety inducing.
Yeah, and it's absolutely horrendous.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to be humming that. Yeah, to my tonight.
But of course, what's great about that is if you try and sing it, your brain's essentially like auto-tuning it, right? You're sort of pulling it back into an actual melody because you can't. No one can like accurately reproduce how weirdly sort of discordant that is. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's a work of art, Sean.
It is.
You can't just recreate works of art like that.
No,
Can
you can't.
Send that in the WhatsApp group, please, Dave.
Yes, I will.
Last question.
James is ready for his performance tonight.
Last question comes from Charles Dickens. Didn't know you were a listener, Charles. Hope you're enjoying it.
It's such an honour.
Chuck D. Charles Dickens says, in the TCGS production of A Christmas Carol, which character would each team member play? P.S. If it turns out any of you don't know the story, I'm cancelling my Patreon, Twitch, and burning my TCGS merch. PPS, I don't mean that. Appreciate you all.
Of course I know. I'm going to be Kermit the Frog.
I'm going to be Bill Murray.
Okay. So, I mean, James is Scrooge, yeah?
Scrooged, 100%. Yeah, he's
I reckon
Scrooge.
Dave's Bob Cratchit. I'm Tiny Tim.
No way. Bob Cratchit's too likeable. Isn't he?
Yeah, but
he's
I'm
way too
your
likeable.
poorly son and you just try and do your best for me, Dave. You know what I mean? What, are you Tiny Tim then?
No, who's the most annoying of the ghosts? I'll be that one.
I don't think any of them are
Come
annoying,
in and know me better, man. No, he was a bit annoying, wasn't it?
I think Matt is Mr. Fezziwig.
That is
I'm not going to explain myself. I'm not going to elaborate.
Feels like a diss.
It's not
Mr.
He's a
Mr.
nice guy.
Fezzi, non-surgical hair replacement.
Oh, that sounds good actually.
Okay. Let's get to the socials, Matt.
Yes, this Wednesday, if you're listening to this on the day this podcast comes out, we're doing a special stream where us four are playing Roma 6 Vegas against Ian Lee and whoever he can corral together to form a team. It's us four versus Ian Lee and co. And that we're playing in Roma 6 Vegas. I'm not sure if I played this back in the day on the 360. Even if I did, I don't remember
It was
seeing
before your time.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
Hang on, is this going to be Vegas or Vegas 2? Just Vegas 1,
It's
yeah?
just Vegas.
Vegas.
Right, okay.
Well, I
Just
hope it's Vegas 1.
Vegas
'cause I've
2
just
wasn't
bought
as
it.
good, was it?
No.
Yeah. So I remember, I'm sure I've said this before, but yeah, my brother was a big fan of Vegas 1, and he bought me Vegas 2 for birthday or Christmas, and he's like, oh, it's going to be amazing, everyone loves the first one, and just never didn't really take off in the same way. Hey ho.
No, it didn't.
So that
We'd
is
all moved
Wednesday
on to
night
Gears of War
at
by then.
9 p.m. Wednesday night for 9. Thursday night for 9 p.m. Sean is about a new series, Pico Bell. We started last week where Sean's playing through loads of Pico 8 games. That was fun, wasn't it, Sean?
It was really good. Properly enjoyed it. I'm really excited about doing it again this week.
Cool. Yeah, so Sean's playing a bunch of random Pico 8 games. That's Thursday for 9. Friday for 9, James is going to kick off and get angry at Dark Souls 2.
I'm going to be totally chill this time. No problem.
Yeah.
This Sunday I'm not back actually because it's my wedding anniversary, so I'll have to find another day
congrats.
I can do it. I can't do Saturday because we're recording the pod. So there may not be a Matt Effect stream this week, I'm not sure. Or by the time you hear this, I may have already tried and snuck one in the week. But anyway, they're all on Twitch. Twitch.tv/TCGS Go over there, follow us. And if you want to hear when we go live, hit the notification bell so you get notification when we go live. If you have Amazon Prime, though, you have Twitch Prime Gaming, would you believe? And you get one free sub every single month. It's just free. It's part of the package. Go over to our channel, give us your sub. We hugely appreciate it. It means the world to us. So thank you if you are doing it. And also, they don't auto-renew. So if you've done it before, please go over again and do it and resub again. Back on the Dark Souls tip, this Friday morning, as every Friday morning, Dark Souls rerun is happening. This week's a good one, actually. I mean, they're all good.
Oh, cheers, mate.
This is the first lore episode with unknown podcaster at the time, Sean Bell and Andy Hamilton
Gave him a big break in the industry.
Midnight Resistance. They come over and join James and David to talk lore and answer James's questions about the lore of Dark Souls. So that's a fun one. It's much longer than a normal weekly Dark Souls episode. That's Friday morning. Again, not on this feed. Search Dark Souls on your podcast player of choice. Patreon.com/TCGS is our Patreon. We just did the milk race, obviously. We were recording bonus shows, and this month's Indie Cuisining in the coming weeks, obviously before Christmas and before Game of the Year episode, actually. So stay tuned for that. And tcgs.co is the website where there's links to our socials, our gorgeous Discord, and our store to buy t-shirts, hoodies, you name it.
Hey, thank you so much for living it. We hope that you have a good week. We love you all. I won't see you next week, actually. Are we announcing who's on the show next week?
Yeah, let's
Locked in, isn't it? I think
next
it's fine.
No, David. We've got Sean LeBode, who Twitch streamer, who also works for PlayStation. Bloody nice bloke. So he's on the show with us next week. Me, Sean, Bell, James, and Sean LeBode.
I don't know how I feel about this. 2 Seans on one show.
2 Sean's, one show. That's
Sean's,
now
one show.
the
It's the
episode
same
title.
spelling
That's
as well.
the episode title, yeah.
Done. Yeah.
2 Seans? Okay, sorry, that doesn't work.
What? Are you okay? James?
He was trying to do the 2 Batmans.
Yeah.
That's what he was going for. We'll catch us next week. Take care. We love you all. Goodbye.
Charles.
Bye-bye.
I'm done. Absolutely fucking done with this. Right, that's it. I'm done. Okay. Anyway,